Hey there, hey there, hey there. You dropped off and now you're back on. uh Hopefully your internet is picking up pretty good. It's a little blurry.
Yes.
If it doesn't
Is it?
clear up, I'll have you pop off and come back on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that way
absolutely.
it can be clear or whatever. But how you guys doing today?
Miss Lillian, why don't you start?
Oh, wow. Okay, so y'all gonna put that on me. Hi, everybody. How was everybody's week? I'm doing fabulous. God is good and I'm doing great. How was your
Awesome.
week, Chelsea?
I'm blessed. I'm super blessed. It was pretty mellow, but I got to go to a wedding today and celebrate a brother-in-law getting married, and it went off without a hitch. So I can't be more happy and for them, and life is good.
Weddings are always beautiful when two people become together as one. That is so
Yes.
special. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, young
amazing.
blood.
And congratulations to them. And also,
Yeah.
Chelsea, we thank you so much for making it back and being able
Yes,
to
I
make it
was
to the
so
show.
excited. I was so
So
excited. I saw you doing the rap show, and I was like,
yeah,
I have time.
right, right. So that was awesome right there.
Yeah.
Um, so we are here this week, and we're getting ready. Last week we had a very good, successful show, very good show. Um, and as we move on, things are just going to get more successful because we're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep helping people. We're going to keep letting people come on and voice their opinions or come in with issues that they deal with. And I'm sure that we can be of some help to them. Um, so that's what we're going to keep doing. So how about you, Miss Lillian? How's your the contest thing going?
Wow, the contest. So it's been a long 6 weeks since the contest started. The contest is Fab Over 40. Um, all of the funding and donations go to the American Breast Cancer Foundation. Long 6 week contest, like I said. Last week came down to the final five in each category. There's probably about over 500 women in the whole United States that entered the contest. It's probably 50 people in each group. I ended up being number one in my group, and I'm going to advance to the quarterfinals on Monday. So God is so good. He is so good. I'm so happy. I never even expected to even get this far. And it just shows me, the support people that I have on my side. I have a good support team. So God is good. So I'm blessed.
Awesome. That is
Amen
really
to
awesome
that.
to hear, and we
Yeah.
appreciate your grind, and keep on doing what you're doing every week. And also, we still appreciate you for having a grind to go ahead and have your own business, being an entrepreneur, with being what is it, Sunshine Smoothies to go. So we want to end up getting some what do you call it?
Smoothies.
Yeah, the smoothies, but the like gift cards.
Oh, and I'm starting to do that. I do have the little coupon things that they can punch. And when they get to 12 punches, they get a free smoothie. So yeah, I have to get some of those coupons as well too. But I'm on DoorDash and Grubhub, so I do buy one get one free on Wednesdays. Is Ladies' Day on Wednesdays. So
Awesome. And you guys are gonna have to give me y'all cash apps too, so that I can put them up here. Um, so if sometime during the show, some way y'all can get it to me, I'm gonna put it up here. I'm just putting the ticker up here now so that it can scroll for now. But let me see something. Let me just do this. Um, oh man, but y'all can go ahead. Actually, you know what? Let me put that to the side. Put that to the side right now. All right. So we're gonna everybody that's on live with us right now, make sure that y'all come in the chats. That's very important because one, that's what makes the show.
Hmm.
You guys coming along and chatting along with us. Also, you know, the co-host here, Chelsea. She makes it. She makes the show. Miss Lillian makes the show, and me, I'm just an extra.
Nah.
Ew, what you
So,
saying now?
Uh-uh.
We wouldn't be here without DJ Concrete.
hey, I'm trying. I'm trying,
That's
and
right.
we're gonna keep making it happen. So,
Exactly.
shouts out to we have one of our weekly supporters, which is Simply 10 Art,
Mm.
just popped up in the building. She said hello to everybody right there.
Hey, hey.
Simply 10.
Um, don't forget, if y'all live, make sure y'all come in and speak to us here, and so we can shout y'all out. So basically, and also, I'm going to have the phone number down there in a second. It's going to kind of suck because I kind of forgot the phone number, but we're going to have the phone number down there so that you guys can call in and actually come in on the line and comment and talk with us as well.
Chat.
And she says until she falls asleep. We got some
Oh,
sleepy heads.
you're not going to fall asleep on us because we're not boring. So we're
Yeah.
going to have to keep you up. We don't need nobody falling asleep. We got to
Right.
get some good subject going tonight, girl, to keep you up. You can't
the,
miss nothing.
the subject is definitely hot. Definitely hot.
Ooh.
We also have a newcomer that we appreciate because she really did it up during the
Yes.
rap show. And there's Miss
So great.
Doby. She said Mrs. Doobie. Okay, here. Good evening, all. I'm looking forward to tonight's discussion. Yes, and please be a
Yeah.
part of it. Either you can come in on the comments in the comment section, or you can actually call in, and I'll have the number there in a second. And we're going to also have, if you guys want to pop in on the screen, I'll make sure I send you guys the link so you can pop in on the screen if you're feeling froggy. Shouts out to Miss Wendy just popping in.
Hey, Wendy.
Yeah.
Yep. Miss Wendy always has some good stuff to say as well. And actually, make sure y'all check her out. She's an entrepreneur as well. And the name of her business is Unboxing with Wendy. Okay. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments, Miss Wendy, so I can say it right, but I'm almost sure that's what it is. Then let me see. Let me get right here also. Then she said, "You're not boring. I miss my nap." So she said, she said, we're not boring. She just missed her nap. So, okay. All right. So the way we're doing this, I'm trying to set up the phone and stuff right now, y'all.
Unboxed with
Yes.
Wendy. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Wendy. Unboxed with Wendy. Let's check her out.
Yes. Unbox with Wendy.
Yep,
All right.
Unbox Wendy. Yeah.
Okay. So, here's how we're going to get down tonight. Now,
Let's get
y'all know
into-
that I do not mind getting in trouble with nobody. I even had the hot call last week. That was corporate who called in. Corporate called in on me, and
Did I miss that?
Huh?
Did
No,
I miss that?
No,
Yeah.
I think she was on here, right? Wasn't she on
Yeah.
here? Yeah, old corporate called in, and
Yeah, because they were corporate was on for a minute.
Yeah.
And I had no idea.
yeah.
The show.
So I just be having to handle the business while I'm here. Just be quiet and answer, and yeah, it was rough out there in them streets last week. So but I always welcome anybody, and also especially corporate calling in. It's just fine.
course.
That's what makes the show,
Yes.
and you know what I mean. And we're gonna get everything off our chest here. So
Yeah.
as we start this, as we get down to the nitty gritty, and the name, this topic here is, whoa, hold on. I should have put it up there like I did last week, but it's single life actually sucks. So single life sucks. But when you get with that next person, why did you pick her? Or why did you pick him? Why? Why did you end up with him or her? So Simply 10 Art said, Miss Lillian, I went off screen that night, I think.
She did cut off. Miss Lillian cut off at the end of the show
Okay.
last week.
Okay. So that's what happened. So that's what our topic is tonight. Single life sucks.
Okay.
Why did you end up with him? Or why did you end up with her? Okay. So y'all know I always got start off with a little something that I put together. And you know, when single, sometimes you need space for yourself to heal from a previous relationship, or you may be single because you're trying to accomplish something like a goal.
Mhm.
Okay. However, so called being single could be a blessing, but truth be told, no one wants to be alone. Can anybody disagree or agree with me on that?
Oh, I can pick it. I can pick at it. um,
Okay.
uh, no, the lot of that is super super truthful. Almost all of it. I think the part of about being alone, that nobody wants. There's not really any not truth to it. We are creatures, right, who could crave companionship. You can't put us in complete isolation without there being detrimental effects. I mean, and so yeah, I mean, I don't disagree that we need people, but I also had a chunk where I enjoyed it. Yeah, there's still like you want, but at the same time, I enjoyed a certain aspect of it. I enjoyed sleeping alone and not having to share my bed. I enjoyed it. I was in that space for a long time that became comfortable and normal, and that was safe and it was good. It wasn't bad. But you're right. I did want companionship. But I didn't let it ruin the great time that I actually was having running the show for a bit.
Right. Right. And I can respect that. Just
Yeah.
like we have Simply 10 Art said, hold on one second. Hold on. Let me get back up
Yep.
there. She
Yep.
said single life doesn't suck when you value your own time. So is that in line of what you were just saying, Miss Chelsea?
Yeah. Single life does not suck when you value your own time. That's right. When you can be alone with yourself and enjoy that space, that's the hard part, right? People are so terrified of being alone because they don't know how to be with themselves and enjoy it and actually be okay with it. A lot of people are frightened to have to be alone with their thoughts and have to be responsible for that time. So yeah, I agree with Simply 10.
Yeah, I agree with that
Everyone.
as well too, because there can become a period of time if you're just newly single,
Hmm.
and either you're going to embrace it or hate it. But let's say
Correct.
if you embrace it,
Yeah.
you're gonna try to do all the things that you couldn't really do or didn't have time for when you were with a companion. You're gonna try all those things and everything, and you may be super happy and be just locked in on that and really
Yep.
enjoy it. Um,
Hmm.
but after a while, things could
Yeah.
change a little bit,
Absolutely.
because that single life is new to you, and then it could dry out. But
Mhm.
also, Simply Tenor said everybody needs a companion. I agree with
Yeah,
that as well.
me too.
Miss Wendy said she agreed, and Miss Doobie
Mhm.
says I'm alone but not lonely. I look forward to having a partner to share myself and my space with.
Yes, ma'am.
And that kind of runs in line of what I was just saying or what we were saying.
Yep.
Also, Simply Tenot said there's peace in that silence, especially after leaving a difficult relationship.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I
Then,
agree with that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Also, you want to read that one, Chelsea, Miss Wendy?
Yeah, I think all things in moderation, and Miss Wendy, you nailed that. Nailed it on the head, seriously. And that goes for every aspect of your life. Down to drugs, down to relationships, down to intimacy, down to eating food, every aspect in your life. I agree. It's all things in moderation because even good things can become bad things when abused.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Um, you know, I'm like this. Oh well, hold on. Before I go on, before I go on, I think there's another one that's popping up there.
Mhm.
Oh, Miss Wendy
Mhm.
said facts.
Mhm.
Okay. So let me go to that next one. And remember, y'all can chew at all this because we're gonna really it's gonna get hot in here. So simply Tenar said, does 7 years count as moderation? I'm gonna leave that for you ladies.
You got something, Miss Lillian?
I'm just going to chime in a few. I have a lot to say, but I'm going to let you take control for now. I just
Okay.
want to watch some of the comments that come
I
up.
got you. I got you. Not a problem. Does 7 years count as moderation? I think that's a very personal question for you. And, I think that comes into your standards and what for you. People heal and people grow at different rates. It took me a good amount of time for me to want to go back out or wanted to even try and find companionship or vice versa, to be okay. It may take you 5 years to be okay with yourself. And so I think that I don't think there's a definite answer to that. It depends on what space have you sat in that all those 7 years, what mind state, what physical state. Does that make, that's kind of my answer to that.
Miss Wendy says seven versus how much H. I'm not sure what she meant by that, but seven. Oh, she said no number limitations. And here's my thing. What I'm going to say about that. We're
Yeah,
all as people. We're different.
correct.
We're different. So we heal in different ways. We take more time. Some people take less time. It
Right.
depends on what they went through in those situations. You can't put like I think Miss Wendy may have said this. You can't put a number on it, and you can't. You really can't put a number on it. So it's
Mhm.
everybody heals different, and everybody's situation was different.
I
So
agree.
um, now, as we move on a little bit on this one, I said sometimes when being single for so long, you may come to your senses to say, "I'm ready for a relationship." But some people should stop and ask themselves, why? Why do you feel as though you're ready for a relationship now? Um, Before we answer that, Simply Tenard said, I was okay at a year and a half, laugh out loud. Just wasn't any good groceries at the supermarket at the time. Okay. Um,
I hear
so yeah. So
you.
uh again, I'm gonna go back to that last thing that I said. I said sometimes when being single for so long, you may come to your senses and say, I'm ready for a relationship. But some people should stop and ask themselves why. Why do you think you'll be ready for a relationship? After you or what will give you the 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 thought to say, you know what, I'm ready for a relationship.
And even further, what did you change in that time
Right.
to make you have that epiphany or that thought? You didn't, I mean, I'm not saying you didn't, but you're not likely to sit stagnant for 5 years and then I'm ready for change. I mean, you may, I don't know. Everyone's different, like you said. But yeah, what did you change? What made you have that thought that you were ready now? That's a good
Right.
question. I think that's a good question to really ask. I mean, if I were to look at my experience, oh my word. I mean, so much change that led me to have companionship.
Hmm.
So much. I mean, it's wild.
Well, here's the
My
thing. And we're gonna get into that, but before let's see what Miss Wendy said. She said, "Mike, please,
Mhm.
phone number." Okay, yeah. All
She
right.
got a
Oh,
response.
you know what? You know what? Let me see what that phone number is. I'm terrible. I am terrible. Hold on one second. I gotta actually call myself to remember the phone number. Hold on one second, guys. But if anything you want to say, Uh, Miss Chelsea, go ahead at it.
Well, I can actually, I'm going to read Simply 10's comment here that I can see. It's not up on the screen yet. I took the time to make sure I wasn't bitter about the past because nothing is worse than blaming the new for something the old did. Absolutely. I mean, you nailed that.
Yeah. Yeah. Simply 10 always got some good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, and Miss Wendy, they be
I
going
love
in.
the participation.
Yeah. And the one that you just read was when she said she took time, right?
Yeah. There you
Okay.
go, right there on the screen. Yep. I took time
right.
to make sure I wasn't bitter.
Okay. I'm coming. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to get this because that's a shame I don't remember the number. Let me see. Hold on one second. Let me see. It should pop up here in a second. Okay. What is it doing? I think it was 470. I ain't even gonna try to think about it. Hold on one second.
So you shoot a text.
Yeah, let me see. This is crazy. Oh, who was that? Was that somebody who just called? If somebody just call back again because hold on one second. Oh my gosh. I know how I can find out. Hold on one second. I'm tripping right now. I am tripping hard. Hold on one second. I know how I can do it. Okay, hold on one second.
Getting things situated.
Okay. All right. Thank you for calling Conversations and Crete with co-host Chelsea. Who do we have the pleasure of speaking with?
It's Simply 10 Art. The number is in the description box.
Oh, okay. Let me see. All right. Well, thank you. Hold on one second.
No problem.
In the description box. In description. Oh, hold on one second. In the description.
In the video description, it's probably listed.
Yeah. You know what? Can you just tell me the number? Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Let me get it in here. Text. The number is how okay. Hold on.
Are you ready?
Almost. Hold on one second. This is crazy. I can't believe it. Oh boy, this is crazy. All right. Phone.
I'm ready.
Hold on one second. Okay, what's the number?
470
Uh-huh.
493
Uh-huh.
9928.
9928. You said 9928?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Adios.
All right, let me see. Call in. Let me put that in. Call. All right.
Miss Wendy, the line is for you.
Okay. Updating it right now. And okay.
We got Miss Lily.
Miss Lily.
I'm back. I am back.
Oh, and we have another caller coming in. Hold on one second. Hello. Conversations in Crete. How can we help you?
What did I miss?
Hey, Miss Wendy. How you doing?
Hey.
All right. I know you got something for us.
Yeah, because I thought the question when it first came up was going to be about, oh, well, I got over something before feeling I was ready. And I wanted to add that it's not that I came out of something other than being single, free, and having fun. But after experiencing, traveling, going to other countries and experiencing different cultures and things like that, you run into those moments on those trips where you're by yourself and you start to think of what would that be like if there was someone there? Because maybe something was said or something you experienced. You felt like that was a moment to be shared with someone that you loved or cared about, and there's nobody there. So the fun part kind of fades out, and you start looking for that stability, interaction, that building of those moments, and you make that decision over time to say, I'm ready to share. I'm ready to have these experiences with someone because they're completely different. I learned that right away. It wasn't just about building the next and that. It was more about, okay, this is different. It was amazing learning by myself, but seeing someone else's reaction to it. It's just life in general. If it was that God said, okay, I'm going to make man and that's it, then we'd be saying, okay, it's odd to be wanting someone. But it is very much the natural order of things to have a companion. Hence the reason for Eve. And it just goes back to the same foundational pieces that we talk about week after week that creep up in everything we speak about. And it's because that's just the natural order of things. And when things are out of order, they feel just a little bit short of what they should be.
Okay. And you know what? That makes sense. And actually, you brought another. It was actually a simple thing, but that's how it hits people. Sometimes when you go, sometimes when you go on vacations by yourself and you thinking like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, this is so peaceful or whatever. Either it's going to hit you the first time or the second time, or it's going to hit you down the road that you're going to say, you know what? I want to do this with somebody, with a mate.
Right.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And
For sure.
the thing about that's really like wild about that is because you have to know what kind of person that you want to deal with. It's so
Yes.
easy to deal with the wrong person these days. It really is. And if you do that, it could make your life a living HE double hockey sticks.
Mm-hmm. But it also helps you figure out who that person is. To the point of the topic, like how did you pick that person? Or how did you choose that person? And it's not even always about picking, right? So
Mhm.
if the guy is the hunter and he's choosing, right?
Mhm.
The women are simply either accepting them or rejecting them.
Right.
It's a part of picking, but you're not the one that's hunting or seeking out the guy. I think, or the person, whomever. Um, I think that's where the order gets shifted and kind of like hanky janky. You out here as a woman hunting out the guy that you want.
Mhm.
You should present yourself in order to attract the guy that he's going to choose you, and then you decide yes or no. I'm taking you off or I'm not.
Right. But have you ever seen any of your friends? And you know what? I'm gonna get to the next little thing here because hold on one second. Now, have you ever seen any of your friends that was single for a while, but then all of a sudden they met someone and you're looking at them like, why did you pick him?
I'm sure all of us are.
What was that again?
I'm sure all of us have seen that.
You said you
But
you've
yeah,
seen it happen before?
absolutely. Several times.
Okay.
And sometimes it works out because there's a part of you or a layer of you that they evolved to,
Hmm.
that person was represented in, but it wasn't clear when they first met.
Okay.
That's just the evolution and the growth of the individuals, and they came to that that fork in the road at the same time. So that now they're leveled up together. They're on the same level and they're moving forward that way. But it didn't look that way initially when they got together because you were used to who they were, not who they were going to be.
Okay. You want to read that, Miss Chelsea?
Yeah. Not why did from Simply 10 Art, we've got not why did you pick him, but why are you keeping him? And I think that goes a lot to your standards. What
Yeah.
standards have you and I think I'm kind of something I was going to say in regards to that question that we just proposed, it wasn't about me. I actually had to find something and I had to find myself, I had to find my self value and my self worth. And that took a little bit. And so that space in between the relationship, I think is crucial because so many of these relationships that you're talking about, they'll sit in this space being single and not do any kind of self work. And they end up back with the same kind of like, why did you pick him? Or why are you still keeping him? And that's that cycle. So I think that's what it's about in that space is finding who and the value of what you value yourself. I learned different standards that I needed people to meet for me to be happy.
Right. Now, here's the other thing. Hold on one second. We have another comment. Let me get that up there. Um, Simply
Not you,
Tenart said not specifically.
not you specifically.
Oh, not you, but okay. I'm not sure. Oh, I guess he was. I don't know either one of us. I guess.
I did you
Um,
pick him? Why are you?
yeah. So, I've seen. Okay, have you guys? And I don't know. Have you guys ever seen if y'all had like a guy friend, and he was a good guy. He'll
Mhm.
make. I mean, he's your friend, but you say, you know what? He'll make a good uh mate for somebody. He's your friend, and you want to, hook him up with one of your friends, your other friends, and he said, nah, I'm just going to wait and find somebody outside or whatever. Not outside, but y'all know what I mean. Outside of people that we know, and y'all end up seeing you see him like 3 months down the line, and then but y'all, as a matter of fact, he was dating one of y'all friends. That's why y'all knew him, and she was a good friend, and she was a good girl. They split, and then now he went dating some other girl, uh, but she's like two steps down. Have y'all seen that before?
What do you mean? Two
Two steps
steps down.
down, meaning she's not even on the level of woman that the other girl was.
Oh,
That's sad. Y'all
Lady.
have to think about that.
I don't have to think about it. I just want somebody else to talk.
Well, here's the thing about it. I'm
All
I'm
right.
I'm I'm gonna tell y'all this because y'all know I will take being the bad guy any day. A lot of women, a lot of women, I see they could have a good guy mess up or take control and say I'm leaving or I'm done, and then they end up going to get a Pookie,
Oh, well.
a Pookie, a Pookie and Ray Ray. They'll end up, and then you wondering like, why in the world they just had a good man, and then now I ain't gonna lie to you, most women, y'all can get on me for this, but most women
Mhm.
always end up dating under what they already had, and you sit there and wonder like, what in the world was she thinking about?
That's how I'm gonna have that.
Go ahead,
You
Chelsea.
getting slayed. You getting slayed like a dragon. Go ahead,
Huh?
Chelsea.
Chelsea, in
Yeah.
in her face, she looked like she want to say something. But before you say something, Miss
Good.
Gobi, she said, I felt aligned and in tune with my inner sense and my
Mm-hmm.
sense and my singleness. I took time to reestablish who I was, listening to myself, trusting myself, speaking my truth, defining and honoring boundaries. You know what? That
Beautiful.
is beautiful. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. I'm gonna
Yep,
tell you why. Because that's what you're supposed to do when
Yep.
you
yep,
are that's what you're supposed to do when you're trying to reset yourself. You know what I'm
yep. You
saying?
gotta
Trying to
heal.
reset
You
yourself.
gotta heal too.
Um, and then okay, simply 10 not said she said I was lying. She said lies, I date up. Okay,
Right.
all right.
Ugh.
And shouts out to Mr. Rita just pulled up in the building. She said you're on point
Read.
with that, Jay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because a lot of women they end up dating and you say, why is she with him? What happened? You know what I'm saying? So I mean, let me ask y'all this before I ask that question. Simply Tenor said, I don't pay attention to who my guy friends choose because they don't listen anyway. And you know what? They probably don't. A lot of guys are hard headed. So, but let me ask y'all this. Um, when these women do this, do y'all ever talk to them and say, what are you doing with him? Like what's going on? Do y'all ever talk to them? Y'all friends?
It depends on the kind of
Of course.
relationship you have. But me, yes. I'm sorry, Wendy. Go ahead.
No. That's exactly what I was gonna say. It depends on the
Yeah.
relationship that you have
Mhm.
with that woman to
For
be
sure.
able to ask or say that because some are just
Mhm.
defensive, and if you are both single, you'll get that one line that, oh, she's just mad because she doesn't have anybody.
Yes.
Maybe her standards is that she's not going to accept less than, and she's looking at you, watching you do it. She just wants to know why.
Mm.
I
Mm.
mean, because it's funny, and I know women have all intentions to get a better man than what they had before, but it a lot of times it just doesn't go like that. You know, it like um men have a little bit more, well, a lot more options than y'all because there's more women than men. And I know it's harder for y'all to find a good man, and then you gotta pay
But you
attention. Like, is he real or whatever? You know what I mean? It's a lot of investigation y'all got to do. Go ahead, Miss Wendy.
true. Did you? I mean, but did you ever think that? And I mean, because it comes up in the conversations that we have about just self worth and care and really getting into self. Some people, some of those women are just bouncing out of what they were in. And because they are so used to being in a relationship or having somebody,
Hmm.
they bounce into another one in the same damaged state they were when they left the other relationship. So they're matching their state of being at the time. If you're
Yeah.
broken, you're
Correct.
gravitating to other brokenness, you're not healing. So what you're doing is you're repeating. You're repeating the same habits, the same choices,
Attracting the
and you
same
know,
people.
right? Tell Lillian, yes,
Yes,
Yeah.
you get into
Yes.
here's the cycle.
yes.
You start that cycle, and
And
now you're
and once
down the
it's a
road. You're
cycle,
on
if
number
you don't
5.
break it, it's going to continue on. And it is a cycle. We
Absolutely.
just talked about that last week about
Mhm.
attracting the same attention. You cannot
Mhm.
blame the man because those are the type of men that you are attracting, and you
Absolutely.
keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, and you're just breaking yourself down and hurting yourself. You are.
Yeah, because you're already broken though.
Yeah,
That person
Correct.
that does that is broken. That's why when you're
yeah,
talking about, oh, why are you asking for this amount of the divorce and this and that, and you forget all of the good and you just focus on the bad, is because you're broken. You never healed. When you go into therapy, you're shut down or you're waiting for somebody to, give you a cheering session for your grievance
yeah.
instead of looking at the why. Oh, he cheated. Oh, he cheated on me again. Oh, he cheated on me. Okay, so you do know something wrong with him, right? It ain't
Yeah.
nothing to do with you. So are you going to find out what's wrong with him the same way you need to go and figure out when you start doing? I'm not saying women or the women in a relationship they cheat too. They'll do the same repetitive narcissistic behavior over and over and
Yeah.
over
Oh
again
my
until they
God, you
figure out
said the
their why.
word right there. It's a
And
lot
they
of them
do
out
yeah,
there.
yes, it's a lot of narcissism. People
Oh
wanting
my
to be
God, it is.
validated,
It really
wanting
is.
other
A
people.
lot of these
You
men are
can't get
torn
validated
too.
when you're broken. What you
A lot
validating your
of these men
brokenness?
are broken more than us
Wonderful.
women. They are broken more than us women, and they keep going
Yep,
from relationship to relationship
the
instead of
relation. And
fixing
it's not
themselves too.
relationship. I mean, I get the word relationship, but it's not relationship. These are just, that's why people start calling them situations and
Yeah,
situationships. No, it's just somebody just bouncing in between body to
yeah,
body to body to body, trying to heal what's broken in themselves when they haven't even identified what that really is.
that's
Miss
right.
Wendy, you know what?
Yes, sir.
Amen.
I wish I could argue with you, but I'm not. I can't.
You can.
I mean, you
You
hit it
can.
on the head. I mean, you really did. And see, here's the thing about a lot of people in a relationship. Our generation came up with a lot going on. Whether it's a lot of sexual abuse that happened, it's a lot
Yeah,
of
Mhm.
physical abuse. I mean, it's we seen a lot as coming up. So I mean, people, you know what? Like, there's a lot of people who, like I said, look at therapy as being bad. It's not. It's
it's
not. It's a
not.
it's
No.
a beautiful thing.
It
And
is.
Mm-hmm.
the thing about it is that if a person asks me if I need therapy right now, I'll say yes, I do. I'm from Baltimore. I need therapy. You know what I'm saying? Just living in Baltimore, you need therapy. You know what I mean? What we see on the news and everything else, we need therapy. Sometimes the therapists
Mhm.
need therapy.
That's a 100 right there. Please say it again.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm.
Therapists are humans. A
Yeah,
lot of people think that they're just okay because you got this title. So all of a sudden, you're invincible to
right,
damaging emotions.
right.
Um, that is insanity. I just can't when people do it. Like, oh, my therapist do it. When your therapist is in therapy, you better be happy because
For
they can
real.
identify and be able to help you and at a better scale, right? Like beyond if they
Yeah.
are getting therapy so that they're not bleeding their personal brokenness into yours.
Correct.
Amen.
Now,
I am a
If
life
they're
coach.
experiencing
and-
something, they come into your session and start pouring their stuff into your session. And I think we had a conversation about this the other day, that your therapist needs to have therapy when they are going through. They're not invincible.
right.
They are
For sure.
human.
Now, right here.
So,
Okay, my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, because I know you got it. Come on.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, Miss Doobie said perhaps the ladies don't understand what they had and where they were, and they cut out and cut off before their partner realized they weren't aligned and moved on. And yes, they get in a loop. I agree with that. Now, she was commenting back on where you know, where I was saying that people, you know, some of these women cut off good men. You cut off a good man. I mean, none of us are perfect. Men are going to make mistakes. Remember how they always say men are dogs and women are cats? Women make a lot of mistakes too, but it's more forgiving. It's more smoother. You know what I'm saying? It's more smoother. But you know, men, when we trip, if we trip over something, it's just goofy. Whoa, boom, all this noise. Y'all women trip over something, it's so smooth and laugh it off and it's over. You didn't even know she tripped. You know what I'm saying? So same, you know, I mean, that's how it works. We have shouts out to B.A. Smith. Okay. She said, simply 10, two broken people absolutely can make one whole. They can fix each other's brokenness. It depends on the people. Go ahead, Chelsea.
Let me take this one. So I don't disagree with that statement, but I think the part for me is they can fix each other. It would not be about fixing each other. It would be about having support and healing alongside each other. Because what do they say with the recovery and addict? If you have a relationship and a recovery with addict, they don't send you and that partner to the same rehab. You are separated and you go to separate rehab so that you can heal. And I'm not saying that you can't do it together. You can, but you have to be bound and determined and on the same path and have the same vision and have the same worth of that vision, so that you guys can do it. It's definitely possible, but I think I try not to focus on the words they can fix each other, because I don't think it's about fixing somebody. I think it's about being there and supporting and loving so that person can fix themselves and with God.
Okay. And I can't argue with that either.
Yeah.
Comment from Mr. Rita. Can you read that, Chelsea?
It's okay to be alone or alone, but I think alone. Get to know yourself, to better understand you and your needs versus wants. If you can't, it's okay to get some therapy. The goal is to have a healthy and happy relationship. That was very well, Miss Tarita.
Yeah.
And I wanted to comment on something right before. I'm a life coach, and the best thing I did for me was get a coach, because I grew so much just by having a coach me, put me in that shoes, right? Put me in the therapist seat, put me in the client seat. It was a beautiful thing, and it helped progress me and in my practice. So I support that 100%.
Okay. Mrs. Doobie said, yes, Chelsea. Totes.
Totes.
Or notes, or I guess totes.
No,
Don't
it's totes, like totally
Okay.
totes, man. Totes.
Okay, got you. I gotta get down with the slang.
Sorry.
I don't believe I can heal anyone, but I can support a partner in their healing.
Amen.
All right.
That's
You know what?
Amen.
Yeah, that's the truth. Ain't that the truth? So, you know, like I said, with me, I'm open to all of that. Like, especially if you're in a relationship. Why would I want my mate to go fix herself and I stay broken?
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
If you're a narcissist, you're going to want to be broken.
Right.
You're going to
So,
want to do exactly that.
so I mean, that's where a lot of people don't get it, and they don't realize, okay, they want to say 50-50 on material things and money, but then don't want to be 50-50 in things that's going to make our
Mhm.
your relationship better.
To help the relationship, right?
Right. So
Right. Mhm.
go ahead,
That
Miss
is
Chelsea.
extremely important
Important.
for men to
Hmm.
hear. Okay. Because that breaks down the so easily in a relationship, because we as women often get labeled as dramatic, emotional,
Mhm.
overly
Mhm.
expressive, excitable, right? Um, I don't know if I said dramatic, but all of these we often get labeled as, because we are emotional creatures and we were born this way to be able to mother
Mhm.
children. So when a man is dismissive instantly of a woman's emotion, that is detrimental to her soul. You
Yes,
have
it is.
completely unvalidated her. The most cherished thing about my marriage is that when I am in an emotional state, my husband makes it just as important to him, even if he's clueless and he a lot of the times has no idea what to do in that moment nor what to say, but he has learned to make it a priority to be present, to allow that. So I know that he's there to help me work through that. But so many men, and this took a lot of work, that just backstory, that took a lot of work. That wasn't something that just comes naturally, right? But if you don't, men,
Mhm.
take the time to listen to your woman, not just write her off as PMSing, because that'll piss her off. Sorry. And listen to what she's saying. And not all the time, if you listen and actually listen, there's times where she's expressing that it has nothing to do with you, that she's just hurting. And it may be she just had a rough day. And that dismissal of you because you think she's emotional, or you don't have the time, or here's something you don't understand. Women need to understand that men are not always going to understand our emotions. And men need to understand we don't necessarily need you to understand our emotions, but I need your presence, your energy, to help bring me and keep me on this ground in this earth.
Amen.
And it goes both ways.
It does. It
Because I
does.
don't bash men at all. Because sometimes you got a good man, that a real good man, but he's still in his head dealing with a lot of
Yeah.
demons from his past. It could be relationships, his childhood. So it works both ways. And it's just really all about getting to know your partner. That's all. And respecting each other and their feelings.
Amen.
Mhm.
I agree with that. So guys need to listen to that. They do need to listen to that. But what if we don't want to hear it?
Bye.
Or you
But you
really going to just let them
don't
go
overwhelm
because they
a
don't want to
man
hear it?
neither. I'm single, but I've been in a relationship. Like, you have to find some type of outlet. Like, we go through things at work. We don't want to come home and overwhelm our man every day with everything that we're dealing with on a daily basis, because they can get overwhelmed too. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to come home from
Mhm.
work every day and I see my man and I'm like, he's like, oh my God, here she goes again. That could be overwhelming too. It's some things that we have to learn to keep kind of to ourselves. And if our partner knows us, then he'll respect that.
Very true.
Yes. But
Um,
some men are not good at picking up on that. And my husband is self-admittingly not very good at reading that, because what he does is he goes, I want to give her space. She seems upset, right? I don't want space. I
it's
came
funny.
home and I want to talk. Go ahead.
No, it's funny because I'm like that. So y'all gotta understand. First of all,
Yeah.
before we get to that, you want to read that Simply 10 one, and we got like
Yeah.
I think one or two more.
Yeah. We got I I real will feel your pain and try to get you through it. For real. I'm an empath.
Okay.
I feel it.
Okay. And I was gonna say that too, but anyway, Miss Dobie said so solid, and
So
then Simply 10 Art said that's also a given, them and out or pass. So here's the thing. Y'all gotta understand and I understood this at an early age because I had gotten married at an early age, and I knew we're us men, we're not put on earth to understand a woman. You guys don't even understand yourself. If y'all sit back and look at a lot of things that y'all want versus the things that you get, that you end up buying or that you end up accepting, it's backwards. That's why I just said what I said, where you got a woman with a good guy and then she left him and she wanted to go up, but she ended with Pookie. She wanted to step it up, but now she got Pookie. That's backwards.
Well, that goes to the same thing of saying that they aren't healed.
Right,
In the
exactly what
space
I was
that they were
going to say.
in,
Right.
they attracted. They went for that because they didn't understand their brokenness. They don't even know what that is. So they taking whatever comes along that attracts to that brokenness. The guy that sees a broken woman is nothing more than a predator. And so when that person gets with them, it's like, oh, okay, well, at least I'm not by myself, or at least I don't, look like I can't get somebody else. Especially when you just said the key of them thinking, oh, I could do better. I'm out. I'm leaving you. I don't care how good you are. You're not good enough. I can get better. And they go out and get worse because they're
Always
broken
happens.
and they don't know
Where's Arias?
what is going on with them.
Where's Arias?
But like
Upstairs. Where's your
that,
dad?
that I've seen that way
In my
too
room.
many times. It's funny because you said when they get healed,
I'm on the
it's
radio.
after all of that craziness and the next person being just as like 10 times worse than what they thought they were going out there and find. And it's man or woman, it's not just the one side because both sides does it. So to everybody's point of giving somebody a pass, you're right. It's not one-sided. It's not just a woman. Men do that too. I remember me and my friends used to always be like, men always cheat down. What is with that? Like,
Well,
For
the
real.
funny,
because
go ahead.
yeah, it used to be, oh, men cheat down, women cheat up. That used to be a full-on thing because I guess in the circle, yeah, they would cheat up or they would go get up all the time. So I never really saw the
Well,
broke.
But you know what's draining to me? Do you know what's draining to me? And y'all hear me out. I don't want to keep asking a grown man every 5 minutes, are you okay? Are you okay? They be in their moods too, and they go through their cycles too. I don't care what nobody says. And I'm not going to justify you, and I'm not going to ask you every 5 minutes, are you okay? Sometimes they may be going through it, but then sometimes they have a way of when they get tired of that person that they're with, they walk around with their nose up in the air and they start having an attitude with you for no reason. And that shit, excuse my French, drives me crazy. So at some point, I'm going to stop asking you, are you okay? Or are you all right? Did I do something to you? Because you got the problem, not me. And that works hand in hand the other way too. When they start acting like that, that means they're ready to go. I don't care what nobody says. And when a man tells you he needs a break from what? I've been needed a break, but I didn't leave. But now you want a break, so now it's you don't get a break in a relationship. It's a job. It's a full-time job. It's
so
about working together.
You gonna tell him you ain't going nowhere. You about to sit down.
No, you did right.
So
we gotta work through this.
Yeah.
If
I
you're
agree.
married, then I agree 100%.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, Miss Lillian. I do but see,
you are in and out of love in a relationship. I don't care what nobody says. You can love somebody or have love for them, but you're gonna fall in and out of love. You are.
Yeah.
But don't just get up and dip because things aren't going your way, because guaranteed you think the grass is greener on the other end, and it's not gonna be.
Sometimes go ahead, Miss Chelsea.
I just wanted to touch on one thing. Love is a choice. This is something I live by. I wake up every single morning and I choose to love my partner in every bit, in every single way. I choose to work through our problems and I choose not to abandon or run when things are hard. But that is a choice. That is a choice
Mhm.
every
But
single day. And when you stop choosing your partner, exactly the circumstances that we are talking about, when it's mutual, when you both stop or one stops or whatever, that is falling in and out. That's choosing to give up, choosing to move forward. So I just wanted to add that.
no, and that's a good one. You know, that's where y'all women and actually men need to look at the background, just like how jobs started to do. You know,
Correct.
now they look at your credit. They look at if
Mhm.
you know, let's say if you single or if you married. If you was married, how long were you married? That holds weight. So that's your whole weight in y'all relationship when y'all sitting up there, you know, with the guy, right? If y'all with the guy, if he's a solid guy and just look at his background, look what he's accomplished in his life, and
Mhm.
also bring that into the relationship because that's going to tell you what kind of guy he is. If he's a guy that quits his jobs all the time, never, you know, he might get good jobs, but he's quitting it all the time, and this that he's not solid. So you might as well look at your relationship being like that. But let me jump here. Simply 10 out said, if I can't talk to him, then talk to someone else, he'd be pissed. Well, here's the thing about that. You have to be careful because outside of your house, most guys will talk to you. They'll talk to you nice and soft because they ain't got to deal with you all the time. Right. That's one thing. And then when you go talk to these guys, they're going to be a super empath. They're going to be like, I feel you. I know exactly what you mean. He's going to make you feel so good.
Not
And then,
unless it's somebody that you're really cool with, that you've been friends with for a long time. Lots of men do have agendas, you know what I'm
well,
saying?
and
Hidden
then,
agenda.
right. But check it out. I agree with that. But a woman should not go to another man talking to about problems and getting the solutions from him unless he's a hired therapist talking to Ray down the street. No, I don't agree
Okay.
with that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times what happens is
Right,
then
right.
it'll turn
Yeah.
into booty clapping sounds someday soon because he was right
Uh-huh.
there. He was right there with you, and now he looked like the guy. That's where the term work husband come. When he go to work, I mean, when you go to work with the problems, you and your man was arguing in the car. Now you get out, and here he go being all cool and soft and answering everything just fine. And then and now y'all too cool.
Amen.
Shouts out to my
Predatory
brother-in-law.
behavior.
Yeah, shouts out to my brother-in-law Tony just coming up in. um Now, Miss, let's catch some of these comments here. Read that
Yeah.
one, Miss Chelsea.
But did they date? Oh, I love this one. But did they date down from where they were vibrationally? Them not where their partner, them not where their partner, yes. They went lower from their partner, but shifted up from where they actually were. So I'd
I
like to vibe. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I like the fact that you said vibrationally because when we were having that conversation, my thought automatically goes like, if we're looking from the outside and we don't actually know that relationship vibrationally, it may look like it's not a better relationship or a step down. But I guess in general, the vibrational path of the person and the energy on which that person gives off, I mean, is a important thing. And you're right. Where did they actually shift from? Where was the first part and where did they land?
Well, a lot of times too, now I'm gonna speak for men. A lot of
Yeah.
times when men date down, they're actually not dating down. See, some people look at it dating down because of looks, but
That's
sometimes
my point too.
they date down because of peace, and they're really dating up. You just don't see it, but
Yeah,
they
Same.
I
experience
agree.
it. They experience it, but y'all don't see it. And you're wondering, why is he with him? I mean, why is he with her? Because she's treating him right. She's being feminine. She's being submissive. She cooks. She don't give him no problems. When he sees her, he's in peace. Who cares about the looks? The looks are going to fade. The
I think that
stock go
goes
down
for
on
both.
those looks. The
You're
stock
right.
goes down. So
You're right.
that's why sometimes you may see that with men.
I
With
agree.
So also
I think it's funny.
Miss Doobie, also what I like what she said right here. She said the grass is greener where you nurture it.
Nurture it. That's true.
It's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So
But with everything being so subjective, it just makes me laugh a little bit thinking that some of the major decisions about who you're spending your time with is being put on something that is subjective. Like if I say, "Oh, I don't like Mr. Bulky who goes to the gym every day," or "Oh, I don't like this really skinny guy. I like a former used to work out, don't work out no more, got a little bit of pudge over the six pack, but we can find it if we looking for it," kind of moment. Is that really me saying, or really someone else's opinion to say, "Oh, no, girl, he needs to go to the gym," and also because you like him, you're now dating down? Or if
Thank
you
you,
say, "Ooh, I
Wendy.
love Mr. Bulky, he goes to the gym all the time," and you like, "Girl, you can barely move his legs. Where's it at? I can't find it." Like it's subjective.
I
So
agree.
how do we put such an emphasis on something that is so shallow that changes from 1 minute to the next? Because what if you find that, "Oh, I do actually like Mr. Bulky"? Now your opinion has changed and you want to the next thing. So does that really hold true?
Yeah.
Hmm.
That was well said.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. You want to read that comment right there, Chelsea?
The ex thought he was straight. How? He lived with his significant other.
The X
You have to read both parts of that. It was 2 parts to it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The X, I gotta find that one. The X
Yeah, I read the whole thing.
thought he was straight.
It
Oh, can y'all see the whole thing?
I
Yeah.
can.
was, and then it went away.
All right.
Yeah, it
Well, I'll
said,
tell you what. I think this is the other part. Is that? Listen,
yeah,
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Listen,
You
I
can
got
read
a
that.
gay bestie. I've known since elementary school, basically my whole life.
Mhm.
Been sweet since middle school. The ex thought he was straight. How? He lived with his significant other. Oh, so the ex thought you're a gay bestie. And see, like that's
I'm a little slow
that's
tonight.
insecurity.
I'm a little slow
Okay,
tonight.
so her
Y'all explain it to me.
Simply Ten's bestie, gay bestie that she's known since elementary school. She's known he's been gay the
Right.
whole time. Her ex thought he was straight. And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, how? He lived with his significant other. So obviously that caused issues between Simply Ten Art and her
Right.
ex, the gay bestie. And he, in my opinion of that, that's insecurities in themselves. Me and my husband had this conversation just the other day. If you are not secure in yourself, jealousy, envy are going to rear its head in all of that if you don't have that security, that foundation in conversation in yourself and with your partner.
That's
Okay.
right.
I thought that
As
was
it's-
a reference to you saying concrete.
Oh, maybe I'm totally wrong.
Miss Wendy. Miss Wendy. I'm
An
sorry about that.
attitude.
Repeat that what you said after you said concrete. Say that again.
I said it was based off of your saying that the significant other or your person had a work husband or her work wife.
Mm-hmm.
And so they share all this time and conversation and deepness and all this with that person. And your person at home is thinking, what? Like, you're cheating. If you're cheating down or you're cheating up. And then it was, well, I've had a significant friend that was from childhood that's gay. So there was no threat to our person, but our person didn't believe it.
Correct. That's what
I think I'm
got
on the line.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey.
There you go.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and say. Go ahead. Did you want to comment on something?
That
Go
was
ahead.
Basically what I was saying was, if I can't talk to my man when I need to talk to my man,
Mm-hmm.
and then I go talk to somebody else, him not understanding who I'm talking to, which it don't matter because I tried to talk to him in the beginning anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But since he refused to talk to me, and now I go talk to somebody else, and you hear me laughing and cackling on the phone, and now you're concerned with who I'm talking to. Well, you ain't want to listen when I try to talk to you. But it turns out, whoever it is that I'm talking to, whether it's my gay bestie or my straight bestie, at the time it was my gay bestie. who's
Mhm.
clearly, I mean, sticks his tongue out and has a bigger butt than I have. And it's obvious. And I tried to introduce you to the gay bestie,
Oh,
and you didn't want to meet him. And
Right.
then it turns out now you feel some type of way because I'm talking to this person to prove to you this person was who I said he was, and I tried to introduce you to that person. You didn't want to meet him. But why are you mad anyway? It doesn't matter who I'm talking to because when I tried to talk to you, you didn't want to hear me.
Hmm.
Yeah,
what
but
are
if
we
you
arguing
answer
about?
this one question, because this is the biggest thing, and it doesn't matter if it's a man or woman, but definitely for the women. It is the most hurtful, disrespectful thing that you could do is to dismiss a woman when she is having a moment where she needs for you to simply be a soft place to land.
Amen.
She's going through whatever she's going through that day. All she needs you to do is to be there. It's
Yeah.
not, compromising you being the head of the household, having the strength, or whatever the case may be. It's not even about her being submissive in any way. Just
Yeah.
hear me, acknowledge that I'm here and that I'm going through something, and just be there, whatever that means.
Love me.
Amen.
Right, because when Creek was like, what if I don't want to hear it? Okay, well, if you don't want to hear it, then I tell it to somebody who want to hear it. And
That's
then
the
you
whole
mad
thing
because
that's
you don't know who
broken.
I'm talking to. Now something
Right.
is broken that's not broken because had
It's
you
causing
listened,
all these extras just because he wouldn't just simply acknowledge that you were going through something.
and that I
Yeah.
came to you first. If you're my rock that I'm
Absolutely.
leaning on,
There you
you're
go.
supposed to be my rock, but you're not there when I need you, then you're not a rock.
No,
You're a pebble in my way.
Oh, I was going to say it. Pebbles.
You know what? I agree with y'all, and I'm gonna tell y'all. Y'all know I'm straight up. I went through that before. I went through that. I was that guy that wouldn't listen. I've
Thank
been
you
there.
for sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, but see,
I
that's
didn't know
all
that.
part- Yeah. You know, because men, we come. Well, I can't even speak for because now that I'm at the age that I am, I know a lot of different people,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of
Mhm.
guys that have a total different background than I do, and I can't even deal with them because they just too far
Yeah.
off from me. So I'm old fashioned. You know what I'm saying? I'm old fashioned, but I had my times where when I was married, I I didn't listen to my wife like I was supposed to at the time.
Yeah.
But then it comes with maturity, and it comes with
Mhm.
love too. Because if you love that
Yes.
person,
Mhm.
you're gonna be willing to change. You know what I'm saying? But
Can you hit the
uh,
amen button, please?
Amen.
Thank you.
so I was willing to change, and I did change. But
That's awesome.
now at this age right now, I'm even more mature, and I understand that. But this is
Mhm.
where y'all women have to pay attention.
Y'all women. God, that triggers me sometimes. Y'all
I'm,
women need to.
and I'm
That
sorry.
statement.
I can't
Sorry.
I can't
Mhm.
soften it
Be
up. I'm
real.
just straight up.
No,
Right.
I know.
So
Or
here,
ladies, this is for you or something.
Yeah, that's another one. Ladies, this is for you. You need to listen to this. Sorry.
It
Go
ain't
ahead,
gonna be
Creed.
him.
I'm just
So-
playing. Go
It
ahead.
ain't gonna be him. If he do all of that, it ain't gonna be him.
right. So I mean, I look, I'm that guy that'll be in the house
You're
and just
right.
tell you straight up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and some women will appreciate that. They'll appreciate that. And when you get that little pussyfooting man, then you're gonna start treating him like a little pussyfoot. And I'm not that guy. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. You know, like a lot of times y'all have to be careful when y'all are talking to the men, or y'all have to be accepting, because what happens is sometimes is that now y'all want him to be emotionally available. And I know all of y'all think that there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I want a man that's emotionally available. Most men
Or not.
are not emotionally available. Okay. That's even like your husband, Chelsea. He said that he's trying to understand you, but he can't. Like, I'm like that too. You see what I'm saying? We cannot fully understand you guys. You guys are complicated. We're complicated, but we're nowhere near as complicated as y'all.
I got the next one.
Go ahead.
Trying is taking the time out to listen.
Okay.
It ain't
Okay.
about being emotionally available or unavailable or pussyfoot or however you want to put it. It's if you're not going to listen, I'm going to stop talking, and then there's going to be a problem.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. How am I supposed to listen? You know what I'm saying? That's what a guy's gonna ask. How am I supposed to listen? I'm gonna tell you, here's the funny
It's
thing.
not how, it's try.
I
If you
got you.
just say, "What if I don't want to hear it?" That's a different story
No,
than you actually trying.
yeah, but you know what though? Here's the thing though. Here's the thing, Miss Simply Tech. All right. Y'all women.
Ladies, I have something
if
for you.
if here's what I experienced, and this is for real. A lot of guys experience this. If your face don't look right when they trying to talk to you, you in trouble.
Let me comment.
Go ahead.
Let me comment. Okay. I want to bring up the delivery again. Okay, because you are right, Crete, that some women, a lot of us do not approach properly sometimes. And then we get our feelings hurt because we approached, which felt sometime like an attack, which then shut down the slight emotional availability that you do have for me. I have shut down because I came in attacking or I came in running my mouth. But there does have to be on both sides a level of understanding, right? When I get excited, my voice raises. My voice gets louder. So there's a level of understanding, back to getting to know your partner, that when I'm excited or excitable, that I'm going to be a little bit louder. So that's not going to put my husband automatically into defense. But if I come in the door, accusation, what are you doing? Da 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 da. So I think it really boils down to getting to know your partner and setting up communication standards. I mean, I could not be in a relationship that was constantly dismissive of that. And on the same side with the men, you guys and both sides have to calm down when you're talking about hard stuff. Both sides.
So you saying both sides, the man and the woman?
Correct. If your woman, for example, if your woman came in and she was slightly emotional and she kind of came off a little bit abrasive that you didn't like it, that's going to put you and be reactive. But instead, if we learn together how to be proactive, maybe your tone, instead of going to that straight, dominant, assertive, if you were to lower your tone and say, "Excuse me, babe, excuse me, I'm sorry, but I do not appreciate the way you're speaking to me. And I can't hear you when you speak to me in that manner because I feel attacked." Do you know I'm going to fall on the ground and melt and apologize, in my opinion, and for who I am, if my man had to check me like that, but in a nice, assertive, calm way. But I cannot speak for all women.
No, I agree with you on that. And that's how I agree. Here's the other thing. That's just like a woman approaching them, or approaching a man, or staying in her feminine energy. She can melt the toughest man. Not to him being a chump, but he's gonna want to deal with her in more ways. He's gonna want to be more softer to her, but he's still gonna stay in his man's frame. But that's where, huh?
If he does not try to listen, that woman is going to become abrasive. I would. If we have tried and tried, you guys have to come to our level sometimes, not always.
Okay, so is that right? And when you get like that, you're supposed to go in the room and check yourself.
Yes, correct.
And then come back.
Now, I take a few breaths, right? And that's not an always thing. You're right. You do need to come into the room and you do need to be calm and stay in that. That's why I said both sides. But if you can't have hard conversation and haven't even tried, and you're having one 6 years down the road and you're yelling at each other, why have you gone 6 years and not tried to have a hard conversation calmly? Or if you haven't, why are we not in therapy?
I agree with that.
Stick my toe in the water.
You said you want to speak? Go ahead.
I want to stick my toe in the water.
Oh.
So here's the part that was triggering for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I leave all the yelling and the screaming for work. That's what I do for a living on a daily basis. So if I'm already coming to you soft and you look like, or you present like, or you straight up tell me I ain't trying to hit it, or I don't want to talk about that, yeah, that's gonna annoy the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And I'm probably not talking about work. It's probably something that's going on with the family or something like that. But that's definitely a flashback, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to read that, Miss Chelsea?
Yeah.
The
It says, yes, I appreciate a man / person / friend that is willing to correct me in love. That is care / love. And but we have to be willing to receive that too. And that's another level that's actually really hard for that person, because in reality, for me, speaking of myself, I'm reactive. I was my environment, and I was taught to be reactive. So naturally I want to react and probably get mouthy. But you have to be on the open end, and I've already had this discussion, in my opinion, with your husband on how to go about these things, which normally came from the first argument you got into, and both of you tested those boundaries. And I'm speaking for myself. And when you finally tested those boundaries, you learned where and someone's going to snap and when somebody's not, or whatever happened. And then at that day, we sat down and we talked about it. And we figured out what was okay and what wasn't okay, and how we can come to each other in that process. And every time we have any kind of conflict or something like that does happen, we talk about it. How did that work? How did that not work? That's where the communication lies, because it will work if both people are on the same page, and it comes from love and respect. Concrete, you said that best. You got to have the love.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We got Dougie up in the building. I didn't even know Dougie was up in here because of the comments going. And he said, "I know I'm late, but coming to the stage." What's up, Dougie?
Yay!
There was one that my brother-in-law Tony said. Okay, he said that the one book that has never been completely read by mankind is the Book of Understanding Women. And that's very true.
We got to write it first.
That's because a lot of them say they don't want to hear it.
Well, here's the thing. I can only imagine how long that book could take and how true it'll be. Oh boy, that ain't. Okay. And Miss Tarita, I just saw, she said that as women, we must learn to listen for understanding, not listen to respond. Wow, very true. As men,
we've been seeing that.
As men, you must be open to learn your women from all aspects, especially emotionally. Allow her to guide you for what she needs. I can't argue about that.
No,
I can't.
Perfect.
So, again, now you have to look at, I made a lot of mistakes, right? But the mistakes get fixed through maturity and experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if I could go back and fix some of the things that I did, or or the way I was, heck yeah, I'll do it. And I fixed a lot of them, right? But heck yeah, I would. Who wants to leave a trail of mistakes and just look back and laugh at them, ha ha ha, and don't fix and just keeps being the same way? Not me. So, I mean, like I said, I'm an imperfect man. I'm imperfect. I accept that, but I can do better. I can get better as being a man. And I'm good with that. But like I said, when women and men need to take themselves to school, they probably need therapy before really tying a knot, so that they can have something to work off of. But definitely
I don't disagree.
But you know what? Perfectly said, like what you just said, right? Is exactly what we've been talking about when we say someone going into therapy completely open or just looking for a tearing spot, right? So the fact that you're willing to acknowledge that there was fault there is the exact same the exact same thing we're asking on all sides. For the woman to go into the situation, even if it's that argument that you're able, like Chelsea said, took time to get to the point where they would actually stop, pause, take a breath, and say what's wrong, who was wrong, how do we get to this part? How did we get here? How did this conversation where I just needed you to just be there turn into an argument or disagreement of some kind? Having the patience and the wherewithal to say, yo, that was me. I did that.
Yeah.
You know what? My bad. It was me.
Yep.
And you just did
You're
that.
right.
I hope that every person on this call listening, in the earshot of listening, that can hear that, okay, if they are on here, they heard you in your opinion, and so y'all need to, statement to hear that you're willing to acknowledge that, right? Should open some people up right now to the idea that if it's that okay for someone who stands stern in their beliefs, then it's okay for me to possibly have been wrong a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
And able to acknowledge. The bigger part of it is when you're willing to acknowledge it to the person that received it at the time.
Correct.
Amen.
That takes a lot of strength. And it takes a lot of courage. And I've had to do it multiple times, and honestly, probably more times than my husband's had to do it. But at the end, there's something so relieving about it because me and my husband are back on the same page. And when we're not on the same page, nothing feels right because that's my, yeah. So, yeah, thank you for saying that.
And it makes it easier every time that you say it, right?
Every time.
Now when you approach it, it feels so much better, right?
It's in the moment. It doesn't even get to we don't get to the mad or the argue. I hear it. I hear that little tinge in my voice that goes, ooh, I don't know how this one's going to land. You might want to check yourself and not even in that sense, but why are you, I guess the question to myself is, why are you speaking in that tone to your husband?
When Understanding the Ladies Book of Revelations will be out 2023. First chapter, Meat and Potatoes.
It's wild.
You want to read that comment down there?
Yeah, I got it.
Ms. Adobe?
Yeah. It helped me recognize to not take someone's tone or ability to communicate, loud / tone, etc., etc., isn't personal, but how they're able to get their truth out. Exactly. Learn how that person gets their truth out and be accommodating as for the other way around, right? My truth comes out a little bit sloppy sometimes, and there might be snot, there might be tears, there might be really high-pitched crying. I don't know. Okay. But my husband accepts that, and he knows that, and he knows at the end of that is going to come healing for me and him. But if he can't step away, right? We've had this conversation, Creole, like this. Well, I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you. Like, what do you mean you're not listening? Well, let me point it out. Your back is turned. You're doing the dishes. I'm getting not a lick of eye contact. And I've had to ask you, did you hear me? You understand?
So you're saying,
what do you think?
You were saying that you were talking and Dr. D had his back towards
Dr. D is sitting there and he's like, I'm listening. What do you mean I'm not listening? I'm like, bro, I don't have a lick of eye contact. Okay. You're going to say something about him doing the dishes. I know. Okay. I know. I think that was Simply 10 Art actually who called me out. The first video was like, why are you coming home and your man doing dishes? And I'm going to be really real with you. I don't do the dishes. My husband does the dishes.
You're gonna have to work.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, but that goes back to what I was saying is that like when y'all women be talking, y'all want our face to be right. If our face don't look right, then there's a problem.
Let me ask you something.
The same thing the men want.
Look somebody in the eyes when they speak to you. My mom.
Yeah,
did.
You supposed to.
And
That's
disrespectful.
That's the respect. No,
correct.
You're looking right.
Why am I looking at the back of your head? Like,
well, yeah, I ain't saying like I think y'all two should be looking at each other.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, I know that.
So, but
just giving an example.
Dougie said that I got therapy from Doug, and Doug told Dougie, ain't nothing wrong with Dougie, it's her. Laughing my head off. Well, you know what I mean. First of all, I was talking to somebody the other day, and y'all might be mad at me. But again, I don't care. Most therapists, I think, like especially a woman, shouldn't go to a woman therapist? I know you want to say something, but I'm telling the truth.
I don't
Why
know.
you're afraid they're gonna tell us we right?
No, because y'all emotions get in front of y'all job, and then y'all
So
start
you
saying
were saying,
the wrong stuff.
This goes back to what we said a few minutes ago, though.
Huh?
This goes back to what we were just saying, that a therapist needs to have a therapist, like, so that they can compartmentalize their own issues or whatever they're going through separately, so it doesn't bleed into a session where certain things are same or similar to what they're going through in their own personal.
Right.
So having a therapist to be a better therapist for the person that they're seeing then takes away the need to have a certain gender be present as far as who the therapist is. They just need to take care of themselves as an individual before they go into that space where they need to be the expert.
It doesn't matter the sex of the therapist.
Exactly.
A good therapist will relate to you anyway, not on an emotional level, but on a level of understanding, because that's their job. They have to understand what you're talking about to be able to answer you.
Well, guess
as
what?
Less
a
personalized is what
Okay.
he's saying. I believe is that it's less personalized, meaning they're not allowing whatever they are going through and getting therapy for to bleed into the situation. Say they have a husband who was cheating, blah, 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 and they're working through those emotions, and then a client comes in and they got a husband that they're accusing of cheating. Now it's not non-biased. Now there's some biases that come.
That's what makes them the professional.
Yeah. Yada, yada. Let me say this. Here's the thing. Matter of fact, I'm starting to remember now. You shouldn't have said that. And I don't care how y'all think I think. I have a lot of people where I said certain things. I said certain things to them, and I sound absolutely crazy. But then I always use this. I always tell this. I say you'll get it next year, because I'm a deep thinker and I think heavily.
Now you're just trying to call everybody else slow when you can't even catch up on the call.
No.
Amen.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing right here, right? I remember bringing this up when we were having this talk, and the person agreed with me, but also they had good points as well. So I'm not saying I was all right, whatever, but my point of what you just said was that they professional. They did it. Okay. Well, guess what? For that professional therapist, let's say she's a female. Let's say she was married for 15 years to this guy. And with her being married to this guy for 15 years, things started to crumble. And he did something to her that was so hurtful. And then he just left. He didn't even explain himself. He just left. He was like, you know what? I'm done with this. She wanted, of course, an explanation. She wanted this explanation so bad, but he was just like, nah, I'm gone. So now, let's say she dealt with that situation. She's still hurt if it comes up. But 3 years down the line, remember, she's a therapist. She gets another client come in. And the client comes in and say, hey, you know, I'm so hurt and this, that, and the third. I need your help. She's giving her service. She's being that woman's therapist, right? So then after she's getting all these different sessions, that therapist talks to this lady and says, you know what? I'm going to tell you how much I'm in line with you. I actually went through the same thing in my marriage, in that
that's not how that works.
No. Listen to me.
All right, go.
I know that's against the law for her to say that. So y'all can calm down on that. But women say stuff like that. Women go out and tell them the extra. But listen, and let's say I've been through that in my life. Listen. So then now she said, I'm going to work with you. I work with you. Now I'm going to do a couple session. And then the lady's husband comes in. After all she just heard from that lady, and she'd been through it before, the husband that comes in was her ex-husband. You mean to tell me she's not going to get emotional?
That's when she refer you to another doctor or another therapist.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah, exactly. Don't forget, I've been to therapy before.
I was gonna say, like, bro, we are.
So what I'm telling y'all, don't think that can't happen. Don't think
I don't
that
disagree.
Okay, so let's say
Not
if
saying that it can't, but it's not supposed to. That's when they
okay,
refer you to
yeah,
another
it's
therapist.
not supposed to
That's
rain
bad.
tomorrow
Or you can
either.
request
It's
another
not
one.
supposed to rain tomorrow either, but it's probably gonna rain. So
But
what
the
I'm saying to
solution
you,
to that is not having individual sex go to that gender.
listen to me.
Okay,
Listen.
I'm listening.
Let's skip by all the political that y'all trying to get to. Y'all know good and
No,
well.
that's you trying to.
No,
Yes.
it's not me.
We know
Y'all
good
know
and
good and
well
well.
what.
Y'all know good and well that female therapist would not be good anymore to that lady once she found out all that stuff she helped this lady with, and she went through the same thing, that it was the same guy.
That's why
So she
she's supposed to refer you
so
to
she
another
should have a
therapist.
man
Now,
therapist.
Oh my gosh.
me putting my
Question.
toe in the water, having had therapists of different sexes, races, however you want to put it.
Mhm.
Okay, I related more. I'm not even gonna say I
No,
related more
you
to the
don't go
male
get the
therapist.
you know what? Say what you was about to say. I related more to who? Don't try to switch it up.
I was gonna say the male therapist, but that wasn't even the case. I'm gonna put it to you this way.
Okay.
Without even giving out my job description of saying, but in my
Okay.
job description, right?
Mhm.
They want us to be robots. They want us
Yep.
to be unemotional toward the public.
Correct.
I guess to help us not carry that home with us for whatever
Correct.
reason.
Mhm,
But everybody doesn't need that all the time.
mhm.
Yeah.
From personal experience, I don't want
Mhm.
somebody coming, to me and then they're a total robot in my time of need, right? So
Amen.
I've had male and female therapists.
Mhm.
The female therapist, except for one in particular, the majority of the female therapists that I had were the worst that I had. Because
Mhm.
even if that can go both ways, even if they related to my situation, if they were in that situation before, that situation made them cold. Now they can't properly therapize me, if that's a word, because they're dwelling on their past, which made them shut down and made them cold. Therefore, refer me to another therapist. Or I'm going to request another therapist. And if I have to tell them why I'm requesting another therapist, you're probably still going to lose your job. So it boils back down to professionalism.
I
So
agree.
she has to be strong enough as a therapist because
Well
they're
said.
professionally trained to handle these type of situations, to where she then says, okay, excuse me one moment, I'm going to step out. She
Mhm.
goes wherever to the front desk or whatever. She says, hey, there's a conflict of interest here. The same thing I would have to do on my job
Yep. Please
if
type
I
up a
get called
referral.
out to a situation and I know the people. I can't
Yep.
help my own
You're not
family. I
certain.
have to call somebody else out to do it.
That's true.
Okay.
That's the part of the professionalism. So
Now-
no, the woman doesn't always relate to the female therapist.
Okay.
Correct.
So let me say this.
It's true.
I definitely agree with you.
Mhm.
That's how it's supposed to go in black and white on books. But I would say probably about 49 seconds ago now, you just said that the women therapists were the worst. And that was the point of what I just said. That's why I said go to a man.
No, the man wasn't that great either.
Amen.
I said I finally found one.
That
that
is
worked
not a
for me.
way to try and win that point. That is
No, you're not
not.
gonna win that.
Dougie said, hey,
No.
peoples, I'm trying to catch up by reading
Oh.
comments so I can see what we're talking about. Yeah.
Everything
Pastor.
all over the place,
Yeah.
all the way
Pastor
past the
Deflector
original topic.
back in the house. Look how that conversation was quickly changed off the topic.
No, she just said what I said. She just said what I said. I'm telling you. That's just like
That wasn't
like I
proving your
said.
point.
Well,
bro. I
It's
told you
free-
how it was
it's-
supposed to go.
Okay.
I'm not
Well,
asking.
I understand how it's supposed to go. But let me tell y'all something. People break their oaths and laws all the time.
Correct.
So I'm telling you, and women, if I'm lying, if women ain't emotional, the most emotional on this earth, I'm lying. But I ain't lying. I'm
My
telling you.
question to you
I
after
think
Go
Ms.
ahead.
Wendy been proved that point, or whoever said we were born emotional. Maybe it was Chelsea.
me.
So nobody denied that fact.
Nobody's denying that. My question to you is:
Amen.
what you think? My question is: if you needed therapy, you would seek out a woman therapist, question, or a male therapist?
Honestly, me,
Just a question. Yeah.
I would go to the woman therapist.
Okay.
I'm
Mhm.
joking. I'll go to the man.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And be in
So
the
the
same
men
boat
should
too.
go to the men and the women should go to the
But the
men.
woman got to
The
go to a man too.
No.
But
She's welcome.
No, the women therapists need to just give it up because I'm messing with y'all.
Oh my
I
But
God.
was
I
gonna
was about to say
fight.
that go back to women
I was
more. Here
gonna
we go again. Right?
actually fight. Like,
no, I'm just saying, not all women are like that. But my thing is, a woman is going to tend to have more enlightenment with other women.
yeah. I mean, in
Okay,
certain
So
all right.
aspects.
guardrails are off.
No, we're not
That's all
ending
I'm
it
saying.
there.
Okay,
We're
maybe phone therapy would be best. Laugh out loud or set up a like in a confessional booth. Yeah. Now go ahead, Chelsea. I know you want to say something. Go ahead.
Well, now that we had to go through the theatrics and make my brain kind of slightly forget it. Here's my thing. As a health and life coach and what I do, I like coaching men. I like coaching women a little bit more. And the reason is because they are actually open and they open up to me. And with men, I enjoy it more because the fact of it's challenging. Because I gotta pick and I gotta pull and I gotta call you out. I gotta do all of this stuff to get you to admit that you're lonely or you're sad. But we gotta go all the way around this and pull it out, and we gotta do all of this, but really you're hurting and you can't say it. So I don't disagree with what you're saying, that women and people break rules. But when you make such a broad statement to say, or such a narrow statement to say, well, just go see a man, that is not the solution. But if you relate better to a woman or a man, do it. And if they do not service you the way you feel, and I'm just saying this on a professional level as a coach, if they do not service you to the way that you feel that you need to be serviced in a reasonable manner, then you need to do exactly what was stated before and get a new therapist, get a new coach, or whatever that is. But you do not, it's not a woman needs to go see woman or a man needs to go see a man or vice versa, in my opinion.
Here's the thing. Y'all know I'm narrow-minded because I want to be.
Amen.
Okay, Dougie said.
Thank you. Yes. What Dougie say?
Go ahead. You can read it.
Okay. I understand what you are saying.
That wasn't booty
Concrete.
clapping sounds. That was hand clap.
Even if she didn't tell the client what she'd been through once that husband come through the door and she sees it is her ex, she is going to Queen Latifah and set it off. Okay, yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, that's going to trigger. But
Right.
That means she might have not been getting her therapy.
Well, see, that's
exactly
what I'm saying.
right.
Like, I'm telling y'all can go by all that. People lose their professionalism all the time. We
You're
see
right.
it on television.
You're
I
right.
mean, it's so my
Absolutely.
brother-in-law Tony said
What we got?
a male therapist is most likely the only man a woman will fully listen to anyway. Thank you.
What?
Amen.
Because I mean, the women will listen to. I guarantee you this. I'm gonna
male
second his
therapist
point.
Is most likely the only man a woman will fully listen to anyway. That's sad.
That is an incorrect statement.
I agree.
Nah,
But go ahead. Let's hear you out.
You said you don't agree, right?
Let's hear you out.
I don't.
Okay. Guess what?
You know why?
What-
Because you men are unemotionally available, whatever you said.
Yeah, you're right. So, but guess what? I'm a second what my brother-in-law said.
Okay.
The reason why y'all gonna listen to him, let him be saying, "Look here, young man, you got to get yourself together," and da 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 da, and woo woo woo. He talking to the man. Y'all gonna be all for him. Get him, therapist. Get him.
Amen.
Y'all gonna be ready to listen to him then because he's talking to us. He's talking to us. Anyway, Dougie said, "A to the men, brother-in-law." All right. So, a lot of times, with this, like I said, a lot of women end up dating down. We know that y'all want to date up, but a lot of times it don't go that way. It doesn't. And I feel bad when y'all do that. Y'all let go something nice with, that's imperfect, because nobody's perfect. Y'all let go of something nice and imperfect for something broken, like broken. How do y'all feel about that?
Nah, son. So most women don't date down, right?
I love that. Most
Women who have reached a mark to where they're just, and men do it too. And I can
Correct.
speak personally on the level of the men that I know who do it, but they might be watching the show. But
Sorry.
so women don't date down
Uh-huh.
on purpose, right? Some
Right.
women get to a certain level where they're just
On
so
purpose.
tired of being alone. They reach a certain age. They feel like they're never going to be with somebody, blah, blah, blah. Those are women who haven't come to know themselves yet.
Correct.
And so they're willing to take whatever the next thing is that floats through the door, because at that point they've reached a level of being tired and they're ready to settle down, which means they're ready to settle for whatever's next, right? So, and that also comes with age. At a younger age, you're not always looking for the next step up. You just trying to get under your ex's skin.
See,
That's right.
With a level of maturity, then, and I'm not the guru or the staple for this, but me, when I left my ex, I was single for 7 years consecutive, right? Now there was some friends in between that I tried to give a shot or whatever. It's neither here nor there. It wasn't dating down. It just, you have to get to know a person to see if that person is on your level or not. People
True.
don't spend time getting to know each other. And they're so quick to say, oh, I got a boo, I got a babe, this is my boyfriend, or whatever, but you don't know what you're bringing into your house when you just jump into that. That's
Yeah.
why you have to take time for all these things, right? So within that 7 years, not only, which it didn't even take the whole 7 years for me to learn myself, the majority of those years I spent
Yeah.
getting back to my old self, right? And it was like one of those things to where when you're in a relationship with somebody for so long, whether it's 4 years or 4 years, right? You
Yeah.
tend to lose yourself into what does that person want you to be, or you take on that role as a housewife, or you stop doing things that you like to do to make sure the house is taken care of, or whatever. You tend to lose yourself at some point if you don't have a full grasp of it, especially like me. That was my first marriage. I had never been married before. So not that I necessarily changed anything other than toning some things down, because I was used to being by myself before I got married, to where I like the house to look a certain way. I like to have things ready at a certain time. And of course, no man is worse at CPT time than women. So it didn't always go as
Amen.
planned, and that would annoy me sometimes. But
Yeah.
then that fell back to, okay, I have this person. I want to tell him the things that's bothering me, but he don't want to hear, right? So how can I tell you that if dinner is ready at 6 and you stay on your long distance phone call for 45 minutes and now the food is cold and you looking at me, well, it was hot when I was trying to serve it to you, but you didn't want to hear what I was trying to say.
well, that's why the Germans
So-
put out the microwave. But go ahead.
Yeah, a real woman don't like nuking her food, especially if she just made it fresh. So
Yeet.
All right. Being
yeah,
as
while
though
it's hot, I don't get it at all.
being as though you're right there, Dougie has a comment that's kind of pertaining to, what you were just talking about. So I'm going to read that. Or Chelsea,
Yeah.
you read it. Go ahead,
No,
Chelsea.
I think you should read that one.
Okay, I ain't scared.
I ain't scared, but I'd like to hear you read it.
Some women date down so they can feel like they the boss.
That's why you read it.
So let me ask
What
Yeah,
y'all
you
the
this.
think
ones who don't know themselves.
Okay. So
You're right. That's what
okay.
it all boils down to.
So is Dougie lying, y'all? Is he lying?
No, he said some
I don't
women. He
know.
didn't say y'all.
Okay, well, the some women he talking about, is he lying?
I mean, obviously he's
No, I
speaking
just
with some
said
kind
all
of
of that.
truth. So
Okay.
obviously he knows that to be true to him. I don't personally, and I don't have that story to share, but I believe him.
Yeah, I mean, and that is true, because a lot of women do it, if you look at some of these women, they just I think Simply 10 just said that how they get tired and they just almost get with anybody. Case in point, you ever seen Keisha Cole's? I don't even, and that might even be her baby father. He was 24 years old, my youngest son's age. You had Erica Badu. She messed with a guy 27. And I mean,
we talking about celebrities who want to prove they still got it and want their back broken.
but they ain't them dudes. You seen them dudes? They ain't breaking no backs. They probably breaking their back trying to break the girl back.
I don't keep up with all that
Yeah,
crap.
but
But
Jay
the
Wallet
reason why-
probably
the-
fat.
The reason why I brought them up is because everybody will know them. If I say Keisha down the block, who gonna know that? It's 100 Keishas out here. So that's why I'm using celebrities. All of them, I can keep going. All of them went and did the same dumb thing. You want me to tell you why? Also, because they know a man at their age ain't going to take their bull crap. That's why Dougie said that they know they can boss these young kids around. They
but
sunning them.
from a celebrity standpoint, well, I know Erica Badu was married before, but Keisha Cole was married a few times, I think. But aside from that, they're looking for somebody who not gonna come in and I guess know all the things to do to take their money. So they're getting the young ones, the young, dumb, full of cum is what my grandma would say.
Yeah, I grew up on
And
that.
they're in it for a specific reason.
Mhm.
My brother said something to me this morning with his situation. She got her agenda, I got mine. That's not how a relationship is supposed to be. It should be one agenda, and that agenda should be positive. So as far as this whatever celebrity stuff you're talking about, they're dating younger. I'm pretty sure because Keisha Cole was from the streets before she was Keisha Cole.
No,
She
Keisha Cole
probably
got
just
some
wanted her
mental
back
issues.
broken.
That's what she got. She got something going on in her head. So does
That
Erica
too, and it
Badu.
boils down to her getting her back broken.
You know what? Let me say this. That may be true, but I doubt it. A 24-year-old now ain't like a 24-year-old from the 90s.
Well, the 24-year-olds now popping different type of pills. They ain't just popping Viagra, so
Well,
I'm gonna keep them going.
well, half of this stuff ain't. I got to tell you that. I've seen 24-year-olds that can't even hang with 40-year-olds. So it's different. And what it is just that they're sunning these young men. That's what because these little dudes gonna do everything. And guess what? The little dudes end up leaving them. They end up leaving them. Them little dudes left
Once
all of
they
them.
get some coins,
Probably so.
the same way with the young women who get the sugar daddy.
Yeah, that's
Once
that's
they
very true.
get their tuition paid off, they don't.
But you know what I'm
Okay.
saying is that these, you know, these a lot of the women put themselves in that position, and you know, because a lot of men they no longer want to be submissive or feminine or anything else. They just want to go and just have another son or whatever they doing, but it's just goofy. Anyway, we're gonna get to we have Miss Dobie said spot on and well said. Simply 10. Is that who is on the phone? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what she was talking about. I couldn't catch the comment at the time. And then I don't think he is valid. He is.
I don't think he is. It's
I don't
valid.
think he is. It's valid.
About
Okay.
you asking if he was lying.
If he was lying. Oh,
You were
I
asking
don't-
if he
No,
was
I think she was saying whatever Dougie was saying was valid.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
let me see.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'm just trying to play catch up here.
What happened to Miss Lillian?
I don't know.
I think it was bedtime. I don't know.
Oh no, you know what? She had sent the text and said that her computer had just started updating in out of the blue.
Oh, I can't
Oh.
stand that.
Yeah. It's a control thing, Miss Dobie said, and I agree with that. A lot of the women do that to get, like I said, they'll
Right,
start
man.
sunning them, and some they
But
even have a
men do
term
the
for it.
same thing though. So we
Are we
can't
calling-
just keep
is that
talking about
grooming?
women when men do the same thing to control younger women.
No,
So-
no. Let me tell you something. You
Uh,
are right. You are right.
Okay.
Because let me tell you why. Because when a woman gets to a certain age, like in the 40s, 50s, they become difficult to deal with. That's why.
That or
okay.
they got a child for this.
You need to
But
unpack. that.
I'm not saying all women. Some women
Okay.
become very difficult. They become set in their ways, and the men are not going to deal with it. And then the women say, "Well, I don't want to deal with that," so they'll go get somebody who they can just son. They call them son husbands. Okay.
Men
What about
do it
the
to go
men?
get somebody like their daughter that they can control
Yeah.
and tell them what to do.
I
They
mean,
want to
you
be
did say
daddy.
that.
Nah, that can
did
possibly
it.
be true as well. But let me say
Yeah.
this. Here's another thing. Don't y'all women always say, y'all mature faster than men?
Science says that, but I believe a lot of it's
Yeah,
environmental.
most of the smart ones date older or somebody that's their age.
Okay. So in that point,
But it ain't gonna be 60 and 20.
so at that point, here's the thing about it. Most women should get with a guy 10 to 15 years older than them then.
I heard that before. It's in the Bible.
I missed what he said. My heater kicked on.
Most
That a woman that the man to be married, his wife should be, I think it's in the Bible, 13 years younger.
yeah, I mean, because a lot of
The
times when you
woman
get-
should be 13 years younger, or than the
Yes.
Older.
Yes,
Older.
the
His wife
women,
should be.
the man
Oh.
should be 10 to 15 years older. I mean, I grew up with thinking like,
With the
okay,
Old Testament or the New Testament.
yeah, that I should get I mean, we grew up like that. Oh, she's my age. But truth be told, you should get somebody, a man, I'm talking about from a woman, a little older. You see what I'm saying? He's going to be more mature. You don't have to worry about that, what a lot of women are going through now with guys their age. And then it's sad because now you got guys 45, 50 that's still acting like they 20 in their mind, but their body old, but I'm just saying their mind is, acting like kids. They still listen to Rich Homie Quan and all that old stuff. And they older.
Maybe that's why Keisha Cole got her young. If she got a 40-year-old that's still acting 20, she just went ahead and settled for the 20-year-old.
No.
No, it's gonna be the other way around. She's pretty-
Keisha Cole is just 2 trees short of a forest in that brain of hers. So anyway,
Uh,
let me see.
Oh,
We
it's a
already-
control thing. Yeah, we talked about that. I think one
Yeah.
thing we didn't really touch on, though, like it's just really quick point about that women too, is that we also have to understand that women and men, certain ones don't know how to receive love properly. Some people don't know how to take a compliment.
Yes.
So I think that was something we didn't really speak too much on when it came down to that moving down or dating down is they may have that good man that what everything is good, and we have something that likes to creep in on our lives when things are going really well. It's called self-sabotage. And there are certain situations that I do know of where people will self-sabotage and they don't feel that they're actually good enough for that man.
Mhm.
So that's another thing that sometimes I think plays down, that they did have something nice and they knew that, but it was fearful. They didn't know how to be treated well. They didn't have good role models in their life to show them how they were treated well. And then when they were, it scared them and they don't know how to receive it. So they went to what
I agree with that, Chelsea, because
yeah.
I messed up also. A lot of times I was like, well, not trying to be that gentleman. I was that gentleman. And and instead of letting her just go ahead and take care of a lot of the stuff, I was like, nah, I got it. Being that gentleman, putting the coat down on the ground so she can pass by and all that. And I should have let her do a lot of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because after a while, a woman could start feeling like, well, dang, he won't let me do nothing. And she may start feeling like, well, I'm not like they're worthless, but they could have done more.
I know a way to say and help you back that. Dr. D actually has said this before. He's like, well, if I give it to you all the time, then you're going to get used to it. You're going to expect it every time. Right. So that's how he likes to say with certain things. Yeah. And in a level, I used to in the beginning was like, what the heck? I don't like, no, I want love me, right? You know.
Mhm.
And as we've matured and gotten further in our relationship, those little things are very important. And so when he does open the door for me, when he does make sure to grab all of the groceries and swing the door open when it's pouring down rain and he goes out of his way, it's not that I expect him every single time to open my door. But when he does, it feels nice, you know?
Makes it more special.
Yeah, you should
Yeah.
appreciate it in a different way every time.
Yeah.
You want to read Dougie's comment?
Yeah. I says, from Dougie, I had an older lady that had money, cars, big house, but she thought a PlayStation 4 would turn me into a yes man. I don't even play those types of games. I had to go.
Dang, Dougie, man, you should at least got Space Invaders and Killer Instinct and all that stuff, man. Before you left, no, I'm messing with you.
That's from the arcade game. That ain't even on the PlayStation.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, what are we talking about?
We're all
What's
adults and everybody's talking about video games. So
I mean, that's what gets some people rocks off. But my thing is, I don't have any experience with any friends dating down. I don't have that many. I only have a handful. But my thing is, I have some that stay the same. Like they're in a relationship they've been in since high school that they know they should have been out of. They
You're so
never
right.
got married, but they always got a promise ring every time they mention getting married. They played that tit for tat game for a while where, he cheated first, so now it's my turn. Crap. So
What is with that?
I mean,
Yeah,
that's some
crazy.
broken immaturity.
Right.
It's
right.
sad. I know.
So,
I know
It's
multiple people.
immature. The whole thing sounds immature. So why would you expect them to behave in a mature manner when all you're getting and all you've seen out of them is that same immature behavior? Your decisions, your actions, they align to your level of maturity.
Right.
right. And so that's why
was the relationship.
that's why I said it's certain people, depending on like how y'all said, the relationship that you have between you and that friend,
Yep.
I could go to her and say, hey, I don't think this relationship is healthy for you. But at the end of the day, she's been with this guy since high school and that's all she knows.
Exactly.
And
Be able to
Really-
articulate why it's unhealthy for her to where she understands and she gets it, or is it
Right.
just more or less coming
she's
across?
not slow. She educated. It's just one of those
Nope.
things
She
where
ain't gonna
you want to
listen.
listen.
She ain't gonna
If
listen.
she's mature, she's educated, doesn't mean just because she's educated doesn't mean she's mature, and just because she's mature doesn't mean that she's educated about where she is in that level of maturity. Maturity in reference to what, right?
She doesn't have, again, she doesn't have those examples that she needs to say, hey, this is an unstable relationship, right?
Correct. It's
And
safe.
her answer to me was always, well, why we need to get married, why we got to put it on paper is perfectly fine the way it is now. Well, not saying that if you put it on paper, it's going to keep y'all from cheating on each other. But what I'm saying is, just because you want to stay with this guy for the benefit of your kids because they need a father figure, you're doing more damage than good because they're seeing that repetitive behavior from both of y'all.
Agree with you
Is
so
that how
much.
How your boy is going to grow up.
Is that how she's describing it? Because
That's how she described it. She was in it for her kids, and then that turned into they're still together today, and she's still getting promise rings, and they're still not married. So
what is she? What was the situation when she said to you that we don't need to get married? It's just a piece of paper. We're fine just as we are. That's completely outside of kids. What was the situation where she said that? Because that's significant. That's very different than saying I'm staying for the kids.
So those were all the things she said at different times during different conversations. Every time I brought it up, so it got to a point that I just stopped bringing it up.
I would have just
So that's why I say it depends on that relationship with the friend. And then we both shared a friend in common where a similar situation happened where we knew the guy that she was with was a good guy, but he had a habit that he couldn't break, not necessarily a bad habit. I guess like she was one of those real OCD people.
Yeah.
So like she literally had it bad to the point to where
My
it
friend
was
has
good
it.
and bad for the work situation because everything was
Yeah.
really clean, but nothing could get started until she finished scrubbing all the tile off the counter. But
Yep.
and she completely cut us off when we brought the situation up to her. So that's why I say it depends on the level of friendship between
Yeah.
you and that other female when you're trying to offer advice, but then it comes to a point to where it's like trying to argue with a stop sign and you're not getting anywhere, and then the person that cuts you off.
Yeah.
That is an illness. That is not something. I mean, just from what you described, that's an illness. So that she needs to get the illness treated. She can't give you a rational answer because her mind is not normal.
The OCD person or the tit for tat
The
person?
OCD person.
Oh yeah, she didn't want help.
Just,
She
just
thought that,
at the end of the
But
day,
she doesn't know she needs help.
end of the
yeah,
day,
she didn't want help. Even her mom tried to get her help, and she basically cut all of us off for years. And then when she finally did try to come back, it was only because the relationship that she left the good guy for, he ended up, it was a domestic situation, and she had to pretty much flee a whole nother state across the ocean, in the middle of the night type situation. So,
all right.
but
Look, bottom line, just tell her don't get a woman therapist. Read that right there. Read that right there. Miss
I got it. Chelsea. We've got Miss Doobie and people perception / definition of love may differ based on upbringing, life experience, and their ability to process those experiences. Very right, Miss Doobie.
Yes, because
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. When I was in a relationship, my version of love was different than my mate's version of love.
Yeah,
So,
happens often.
and it can be like that.
Yeah.
Different upbringings and stuff like that. And then also, Miss,
Has anybody figured out the core to all of this?
right?
It's simple. Has anybody thought about what the common thread has been through all of it? The lack of communication. She don't understand what you want. She don't understand your level of love or what you define love as.
Yep.
One person doesn't know what the other person has gone through. One person doesn't know why the other person is doing certain things because they're not talking. And they didn't learn the
exact
groundwork
reason
to
I have a job.
communicate at that level. Because there's
Is
different levels of the communication. So you can't just have surface conversation and then
You're
call
right.
yourself in this deep, undying, till we death do you part love when you haven't even discussed what your definition of love is.
Yeah, I
You're
agree.
right.
I mean,
I agree.
What would help that is like a couples retreat, and when y'all go on a couples retreat, she should just leave him out there. All right. Read that one right
You're
there.
getting feisty.
leave him out there for what? To get another woman?
Are you sleeping?
No,
Yeah, he's getting.
God.
He has to be.
All right, we got
Uh,
Miss Doobie again on a
Look,
comment.
he trying to bring the subject matter back to the beginning, but we missed the whole topic in the first place. The single suck. I'm like, what?
Yeah. It says
That ain't what we talking about.
I know. We always lead to something else.
I was once told by my psychology teacher that a woman should get with a man 6 to 7 years younger because of life expectancy. So they would leave this life around the same time. Interesting.
So if someone take,
I mean, you
woman
was
should
born
get
alone. You ain't
with
gonna die
a man
together anyway,
Younger. Oh,
unless
okay.
you commit suicide.
Yeah, well, I mean, things are
Well, hey,
changing
you
now
still-
because women are
Or
working just
mental
as hard as
something
men now. Women are working just as hard as men now, so that's about to change. A lot of these women about to croak over, just like men. Where's that other one? Oh,
Or from the stress of a man.
Trying to find another comment
Yeah,
to
probably.
change the
Yeah.
subject.
Miss Doobie said, for
Yeah,
your
I ain't
interest,
let nobody stress me
FYI,
out.
I didn't agree with that teacher. What teacher?
Oh, her psychology teacher. She
Or her
didn't agree
Oh,
with
okay.
it.
Yeah. I don't agree with that either. Simply because, again, that's like he's not even like your maturity.
you're right.
The woman's maturity level is going to be
Ugh.
so much more over his. It's just it's just not even going to make sense, to be honest with you.
No, and I do agree with that. Dr. D is 9 years older than me, and it really helps.
Yeah, I'm sure it helps, and so
It does.
that's how women should do it. You know what I mean? If you 24, get a man 35. You know what I'm saying? or
Or,
somewhere around
just
that
have
age or whatever.
preference.
Huh?
What if it's a person that just has this old spirit, has had it since they was children, just was beyond their years and how they thought about things, how they saw things, how they planned things, how they planned their life, how they saw their life,
Mhm.
and you get them when they're at a certain age, and then it's like, you're still fun, or you're still very focused, and all of those things. That whole try to find them somebody, or they should be with somebody X amount of years older or younger, man or female or whatever, doesn't fit.
Mhm.
I've seen that happen to somebody. Like legit, they had been that way. It's like, oh my God, you'll be well beyond your years. You're giving advice that people your age don't even know what you're talking about. You're lost in a conversation with your peers, but fit well with those that are older than you.
Some people just love who they love.
Absolutely.
They don't even, age doesn't matter. I mean, for instance, R. Kelly.
Mm.
Oh God. No, I have a couple who they just celebrated their anniversary, and their age difference is about 20. I want to say probably like 24 or 5 years.
Yeah, I don't judge.
Is age
They're
different,
happy.
and it would be appalling to think of it until you see them together. And I'm like, this
Absolutely.
is crazy. And they don't look like age different visually. They both look old, look in the same range of each other, but they have about 25 years between them.
Sounded like he's gonna say they both look old.
No, they don't. I mean, it's funny because she was a kid that had that gray hair thing. So it's hereditary. Yeah, so her hair was gray. Like
Already.
he was dyed up before. Yeah, she ain't never dyed her hair, but he dyed up.
Mm.
So yeah, they don't look like they're different in age. Yeah, but they 25
that
years
works for them, so that's good.
Dougie said, I don't think we really know what love is. Who's going to
I don't
comment on
think
that?
some people do. I don't think
No, some people
really,
don't. In fact,
don't.
some people in relationships, honestly,
Mhm.
a lot of times, a lot of people will get together and get married because of love. But you got to remember, like I said last week, and my sister said she wanted to say something so bad, she quoted wrong. Marriage is a business. You have to treat it like a business. So also, when you put the love part in it, the loves are going to be different, and I'm gonna tell you why. Uh, it depends on how you was brought up,
It does.
how
There's a
how
lot.
love was programmed in you. What kind of
Correct.
love did you receive when you was
Right.
growing up?
You're right.
And some people say love don't pay no bills.
Right. And see, so what do you think about that when people say that though? Do you think that's harsh or do you think that's right?
I don't see what one got to do with the other.
They don't.
Hmm. Well, I'm just saying, like, again, my.
Well, where they both will relate, they're both the responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe one should have one. No, they're two separate categories out to me.
Some people not in it for love; they in it for the business aspect, the companionship, just to say that they have somebody.
That's
But
true.
they don't necessarily
Yeah,
love the
that's what
other
the business-
person.
As long as both
A
parties are
business is not
understanding and
about love.
consensual.
Business is business. Love is love.
But that's what I'm saying. That goes back to what my brother said earlier, where one has an agenda, the other one got an agenda because that one got an agenda. Now they both in it for the wrong reasons, basically.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. All I'm just saying is the reason why I say singleness sucks because it does. At first it's great. Like I said, it's a great thing, and you're like, hey, whatever. I'm great. Do what I didn't do because I was married or I was with somebody, and then some people can embrace it longer than others.
Yeah.
So we are all different, but
But the focus of that is heal. In that purpose, if there's anything,
Mhm.
take away from that. In the middle of that, heal. Don't just sit here and think if you don't do anything and the perfect match is going to just show up on your door and you've made no changes. Well, I mean, come on, heal,
Right.
talk to God,
I
all of it.
want conversations with Creek to elaborate on why it sucks a little bit more.
Yeah.
because if you're in the house watching comedy, who you going to talk to? Who you going to laugh with? You in there laughing by yourself. No, I'm joking. I'm just saying.
What if that person only watched real old movies though?
Then you can go back and do the old movie quotes, like what's that? What do you say? Go ahead, make my day, Clint Eastwood. Anyway, so all I'm saying is though, sometimes singleness is a blessing, but eventually you're going to turn around and say, okay, I want a companion. I want somebody,
Right.
and that's the thing. When you get somebody, because things change so much, having somebody, let's say even before COVID, you might know somebody that was, and you ain't seen them before COVID. They most likely they're a different person now, and you still may want to get with them, and they may have gone, push the Pookie button. They're Pookie now, but you still getting with them because before COVID, they was the sharp guy or whatever, So that was the moral of the story, because now a lot of women they want to date up, but they end up dating down, and then sometimes people look at, well, why he get her? Sometimes they'll date down for a purpose, just like women will date down for a purpose, but women really be wanting to date up.
That goes back to some of those women are just taking what they can get.
Uh-oh.
Right?
Oh, Leslie.
No.
Men date down to. I know, but I'm just saying for him because he's only going to talk about the women.
All right, I didn't talk up my big sister. She said,
You
Bird,
did.
I was just talking about it. She said, Bird, don't make me jump through this phone. Marriage is a union. If that's what you want to call it, that's just like a donut is round. Here's the thing. Marriage is a union. Yes, you guys are in union together, but it's what you do and how you're supposed to run your marriage makes it a business. You can go in there and say, we're a union. We're united. But who's the leader? Who's the head?
Why is it so
I
important?
think the definition of a union is you're not defining the union of love and interactions and all of that. You're really describing, like you said, the business of marriage,
Right.
the business of loving another person. You're not talking about the act of loving another person and what's involved with that, because that is not a business.
Okay.
That part is business. How you love me is not a business.
So
How you provide for me maybe, but how you love me.
I think that's a
It's
good
not a
distinction.
that part is not.
I
the
think that
business
was good
part.
to distinct and yeah.
It's the structure of your union is the business. Now, can I agree that all of us know what what union means, right? We do. But let's really get it from Google. It says the action or fact of joining or being joined, especially in a political context. He was opposed to closer political or economic union with Europe. Okay, that's a union. Union. We're getting together. But how are we going to run this union? Uh-oh.
Union helps.
Miss Dobie
Union,
said unions help. Oh, go ahead, Chelsea.
it says unions help the employees work with / mediate with management in a company.
Okay. So
Unions, yeah.
I agree with that. But how is the company ran?
You
Chelsea.
see how company and union don't fit together?
Right. I mean,
Even with these definitions, it's clearly dividing union from a business.
okay. So do you think I'm having the wrong thinking about it?
Clearly, if you think it's a business, when it's just been defined twice
Let me ask you
in two
this.
different contexts as it not being a business.
Let me ask you this. Usually when there's a union, why is it a union? Let's say if you work for let's say if you work for the steel company, the steel manufacturer. and they have a
Mhm.
union, right?
Mhm.
What are you doing there? Why are you there and being in union?
Who's the owner
And
of the
it was
business?
just to find it. Yeah.
Huh?
Who's the owner of the business?
The reason why you're there
I'm just
in
asking a
union,
question.
no,
Who's
I'm
the
just
owner?
saying, because
You
you about
can.
you know you about to get it.
Okay, go ahead.
The reason why you're there in a union at this
Mhm.
job,
Hmm.
and usually a job, when you have a job, why you have a job? Because you're working for a business. You can't go in that job and do what you want. There's roles that you have that that that's in that business. It's a word that I'm looking for. When you get hired, right?
I want to read Leslie's comment.
Oh
Go
yes,
ahead.
please read Leslie's comment.
All right, where's she at? Okay.
As Leslie says, if I'm in a business in my marriage, then I want my check.
Y'all women would
If
say that,
you
right?
say no,
Y'all
no,
women
this
would say
woman
that.
said not.
Come on,
Because that's
Crete.
still putting me in the future.
Okay.
I'm just like,
Make
the
it
wrong
wrong.
reasons to be in a marriage is not for a source of income.
Who's the owner of
We
the
would love to say
business?
that, but that is not the reason people should be getting married. Oh, I'm gonna get married because
You know who the owner is.
Yeah,
the income.
but
No, it's other people's only reason. They broken. They don't even understand why they get married in the first place.
so
This is
so
even
check this out.
Equally.
So check this out. The paper
Mm-hmm.
checks, you gave that up when you said I do. You gave that up. It's direct deposits now. For whatever he do, he satisfies you. That's what your happiness come from. And he makes the money in that union. Okay? That business.
So he owns
Remember,
it.
he owns what? The
The
marriage? Yeah,
business.
he's the head. He's the
I didn't
head.
ask that. Is he the owner of the business?
Now the owner that made the
Is
contract is God, Jehovah God.
very well said. Thank you.
Okay. So just like when you go, like I said, when you go to these jobs that have unions, a job, why would you have a job? Why are you there? Because you work for that business. You got to do what that business tells you to do.
I work with my husband. Not
Unless you get a collective in a union.
However you want to look at it, a union is usually affiliated with some business.
In what way?
What other way can it be? Tell me.
I'm getting ready to tell you because I have to stop unions from being formulated in companies that I've been in and run. And so I'm trying to tell you they're
Okay.
not the same. When you get a union on a job, is because you now have a collective of people on one accord who want to have the protections of the union.
Okay.
So they don't have to do exactly what the job tells them to do because of the collective vote and on one accord that they want to do it a different way. They can force it to be done a different way. So that's why I say stop using union.
Okay. So here's the thing. I agree
It
with you.
doesn't jive with your vision. Okay.
I do agree with you, but I'm also say this. I agree with you, Miss Wendy, but I'm also say this. There's a reason why you're there. You're there to work, and if you're working, that means you have a job. And usually, jobs are at somebody's business, whether it be a business that makes money, like a store or a warehouse, or at your home. Your business of marriage is at your home. That's your business. It's your business. It's your role to take care of this house while I
Just
go
a
out and
heads
work.
up, it's after midnight.
Huh?
It's after midnight.
Right. Because you got a business and you definitely don't want nobody starting no unions on your business. I'm going to say that right now.
Oh, I know they don't want. No, I wouldn't even do no union at my business. I mean, I understand what the unions do, but my point,
Right.
I understand. You're not just gonna have a union and just nothing. What you're in union for? You ain't gonna be in union for nothing.
Your union, the actual union and the definition I read out and everything, is where you two come together as a collective for your life to be on one accord when decisions are being made. So when you then turn over and say, okay, I'm going to run our home like a business, it's only if you can only say that it's attributed to your union if you both agree.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be
And
mutual.
we said that before. You both
I-
agree.
I
It's
agree
not
with that.
forced upon one person or another. So that's why people shouldn't go into a union if they're not on one accord and believe that union should be run the way that you're saying, where it's traditional. You say you're traditional, your
Mhm.
mate, the person you go into the union with, has to agree that you are the head, that you are going to be the provider, that they are going to be the home giver or keeper of the home. All of that has to be agreed upon in order to be a solid union made to begin with. When that is broken, you can't say that you went in with a solid union that is going to be a lasting union, because that's what it's supposed to be. The
Amen.
head and not the tail.
And see, that's exactly
Amen.
that's what I was saying. You just said what I was saying. So
But they have to agree, right?
right,
So
that's what
you
makes
come
the
into like,
union.
oh,
That's what
being
makes the
single sucks.
union.
Because
That's
don't nobody, when you single, you're not on the same accord with everybody that you dating.
no.
Like you hoping that you get to that person that you're on one accord with,
Mhm.
to form a union, to then go and say in front of God and man that you're in a union till death do you part. Not until the money runs out or we have a hardship or something, and hey, the grass is greener, or ooh, her butt bigger, or ooh, he look like he got print in them sweatpants, or yeah, nobody cares.
Hello, somebody.
You better be in a union because you're in a union with the same beliefs, foundational beliefs. Doesn't mean you were brought up in a household with two parents. Because guess what? There are people that are born up in households with single parents, but had examples and others that surrounded them in their village that
Mhm.
brought them to be who they are.
That's
Mhm.
right.
So
Yeah.
you can't define it by who was in your household. I've heard it. You got to have two parents. No, you don't.
No,
Oh, you
you
got to
don't-
have a mom or a dad. No, you don't. But you do have to have those influences in the village that supported you coming up in this world.
Well, that's why that old saying, the village
It
raises
takes
up
a village.
it takes.
That's
So,
right.
but here's the thing. When I say it, it's because I
They
experienced
don't
it.
have villages no more. They got them
Well, they got Emerson Village.
hotels.
No, I'm messing with But look, right? Here's the thing. My thing is this. Like me, I experienced the two-parent home, and I can say that I came up with no abuse or any of that. So I was fortunate. You know what I mean? I saw the old school father, I saw the old school mother, and that's what I came up on, and that's why I'm old-fashioned with it. Now, Miss Doobie, I do agree with marriage being ran as a business. Perhaps business is different than a company. The payment is the fruit produced in the marriage union. She hit it on the head with that. She hit it on the head with that because she just said exactly what I was saying. And and I understand marriage union. I get that. And then uh, she said business is different than a company. Now I was talking about a company, but a marriage is ran like a company. It's like a business. But I know she's saying a little bit different right there, but I know what I'm talking about. I've been married for 30 years. And it has to be ran like a business. If you go in there and you have all these people work in one place, okay, who's the leader? Everybody gonna be all over the place with no leadership. So I mean, you have captains, you have lieutenants, everybody has their place, everybody has their role. So that's all I'm saying. I mean, so if you have kids, each one of them, one is older than the other, have a little seniority and all that stuff. I mean, but I trust me, it's a business. At the end of the day, marriage is a business.
Marriage can be run like a business.
Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you one more. My sister said union means to unite as one.
See?
Yep, it does. So there are not
Thank
two
you.
bosses. You need. See, I don't know if I'm saying the whole things, but anyway, yeah. So I agree with my sister right there. I do, but I'm just saying marriage is a business. It's a business. We ain't changing that.
There's a lot of bad
You
business
just
owners.
run like a business, or you choosing to run it like a business. And it is the same thing. A company is a business. There's a big business and small business, but it's business is just the same.
Dougie
So
said what I
what you want.
said. Dougie said what I said before, and this is what I'm talking about with the marriage. All chiefs and no Indians in the tribe. That's exact. If you don't have a leadership, and run it like a business?
No, you can have leadership and not run it like a business.
Yeah.
R-
You can.
How?
He just made the perfect example. Chiefs and Indians. There ain't no business in Chiefs and Indians.
Nah,
They're
what he's
tribe.
saying, there's too many.
Hey.
What they saying, what Dougie is saying, is too many chiefs and not enough
I know.
Indians.
I know what he's
Right.
saying.
So
He used the context that don't have nothing to do with business. And you're
so you
premise is
saying
saying
so
it's a
so you
business.
saying marriage is not a business?
No.
No, it's not.
Okay, y'all
It can
got
be
it right.
run as a business.
No.
It can be run
Marriage
as a
is a
business,
business.
but
Marriage
it's not a business.
let me tell you this. Did
So
you
we ain't gonna
know?
get nowhere with this conversation. Can
We
we?
not.
No,
we can
listen,
get back
listen,
to
listen,
the,
Reason why
listen.
single sucks because I
Listen,
was trying to make a
I'm
point like an
on.
hour ago and I keep
Here's the
losing
thing.
it.
Here's the thing. Do you know the reason why you have a social security number? Because you're a business, you're a commodity. Let's go
I'm an
big,
alien.
let's go bigger than marriage. I'm trying to tell y'all something here. I ain't listening. I'm a man and I know how I ran. Yes, I'm not married now, but it's not because of me. I'm telling you,
Ran a
it's
business
marriage.
into the ground.
Marriage is a business.
Oh.
Marriage is a business. Marriage is a business. Trust me.
Hey, no one's trying to sit.
And listen, that's
You
just
can have
like
that
a
belief.
man. That's just like a man in his household, and then his woman keeps stepping up to him. Who's the boss in there? Let's get really to it. The man is the boss. If she don't want to, and this is why single sucks. And then when you being single sucks, and then when you go and say, "Oh, I'm ready for somebody," and then you pick the wrong person. That's the purpose of this show. You pick the wrong person, and then you sitting up here and they don't want to listen because they don't understand business.
What if they understand? What if they understand a union? Because
we're not talking about a
most of the
union.
time-
We're not about to mix it back up. We're
Let
talking
me
about
just say this
business.
one little thing.
We're talking about
I-
business.
we can
We are
agree
talking about business. We're
the
talking
head
about
of the
business.
household.
We're talking about
We
business.
can agree
We're
about
talking
that.
about business, Miss Wendy. That's the reason why we got into that squabble of union and business. Marriage is a business. It has to be ran like a business. Period.
In your
You
opinion.
can run it like a business.
It has to be ran like a business. Trust me.
Doesn't
I've
have
seen
to
it.
be
It
ran
works. It works.
But
The
it's not
long
yours.
marriages works.
I never said it couldn't be run like a business.
Mhm.
Yeah. Nobody's saying it can't be, but it
I
doesn't
never
have
did.
to be. It doesn't have to be.
Okay.
Right.
If it doesn't have to be, what other way should it be ran? The man should be on the same level as the woman. That's what you call a
No,
beta.
that's why when you keep saying a business, doesn't we're trying to say the same thing, but you want to call it a business and I don't. That's all it is.
Exactly.
But see,
I
That's
think
exactly
when
what it is.
was in
but
the
you know what?
household,
You know what?
I
That's
feel
the
the
problem.
women support-
That's the problem. Some women are sensitive to some words. They don't want to accept it, and it is. It's exactly what it is.
I can state that certain words are absolutely triggering. And I can be completely transparent with that. The first time I was proposed and you heard this whole business, yeah, hearing that at first was triggering. Are there some points of it that I absolutely do agree with? Yes. But the accentuation of the man being the boss is what I think is triggering for me. Is my man the head of the household? Yes. Is he the boss? Yes.
Mhm.
But it doesn't have to feel like, and that's where I think the triggering, it comes off in tone and delivery. Because when you say it is a run as a business, that's the way to do it. It's that's the only way to do it. It gets triggering at certain times. But I do see where you're coming from, because there are certain aspects when you put it in that statement. But I'll touch on the trigger words. There are trigger words. Submissive, very, very triggering for some women. It is.
But
Duties.
it's in the Bible.
I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm just
You know what I'm saying?
accentuating the
Right.
fact that there are words that do create certain things for different people. Submission took me a little bit to have a conversation with somebody about, because it takes a while for people to understand what submission is. Because we hear submission and it puts some people in a traumatic state, because submission equals assault, equals abuse, equals that. So there's just so many different things to that but I am agree with certain levels of submission 100%, you know, because I am that way. But I think ultimately, however you choose to run your marriage is up to you. But if love and respect is at the forefront, submission doesn't have to be triggering and it doesn't have to feel degrading. Calling your marriage a business or running it like a business does not have to feel degrading, and it doesn't have to be triggering if the love and the respect is there. That's all. So there are certain words.
No, I agree with you. I agree, but I bet
Well,
you.
I
bet
never
you.
could
For
make
me.
it back to the original point, so I'm getting sleepy. I'm just gonna say this: if you're gonna run it as a business, just don't run the business into the ground.
Amen.
I agree with that, but
Amen.
here's another thing: if you're gonna go to work and clock in and do whatever they say, you need to do the same thing at home.
Amen.
Mm. Mm. You better have a
I'm-
very loving and respectful boss.
Nah, what it is, that's the reason why dudes are getting their passports.
Oh, we
It's
are
not-
love
it is
y'all. Not going on that one.
Yep, that's exactly why.
I'm not
because,
having that one with tonight.
because a lot of women here get triggered by words and don't understand submission. They don't understand
when you speak it in that
feminine
What-
femininity. Nah,
What country are you trying to get your passport in?
Oh, I got my
Go.
passport.
I know you do.
Yeah.
So, what country are you trying to go to find this all the time? 100%. Every single
Submissive.
woman is
Yeah,
submissive. Where that country? Where is that country?
feminine, all that good
Ethiopia or
stuff.
Colombia?
You can go to
No, it's not.
Colombia,
Oh.
Venezuela.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Please don't tell me that I've been there, done that.
I know you've been there, done that, but
and-
you don't know 100% that every Venezuelan woman or every Colombian woman is going to be passive and submissive. Because I
So
know some that are
weird.
not.
Some
They
Colombian.
spicy.
You know what? Here's the thing. Their culture is totally different. See, you met these ones.
Absolutely.
You met these ones over here that got Americanized and turbalized. That's what happened.
Why you say turbulized?
Because a lot of I'm not saying that about every woman. I'm not. But a lot of
Okay, thank
this
you.
stuff is terrible over here. You understand? When they let
Thank you
words
for
trigger them.
clarifying that for our listeners so that they
Yeah. No,
I'm
just
Yes, please don't say women are horrible because they're in America. Because
yeah,
that wouldn't be fair. That wouldn't
There's
be
some
fair
really
at all. And you
good
know
women.
what's funny? And I'll say this and be 100%. I will say, like me specifically, I'm like the devil's advocate when you get all hyped up. It just makes me want to just see you do
love
it.
it.
So I just say stuff
me?
just to see you go.
you like to
Yeah,
see, I mean, I like to be
I just to
entertaining.
see you
chick.
get fired up. So it
Uh-huh.
just gives a little texture to things.
I
But
And you know what, Miss Wendy,
No.
I'm gonna be straight up with you. I know,
you know that.
a lot of times that when we're on here and you talk,
Mhm.
we have a lot of similarities in things. So I
Mhm.
know, but I'm just saying, you know, certain things us men have a problem with. We do.
Leslie
Like,
said that's
on
why
that.
men find themselves by themselves.
that's okay. That's why the show is about singleness. But see, what happens is when we find ourselves by
What about
ourselves,
women?
we go get dirt bikes, we go get mountain bikes, we go get campers,
Uh-oh.
we go get with a. So that's the difference between men and women. Women get more emotional, men get more activities.
No, women do art.
Okay, and that's peaceful. That's peaceful.
I go to the spa
That's peaceful.
Yeah. around the world.
Yeah, I trip.
So stop making it seem like
My-
all women.
My big sister say
It's
I'm
the
gonna get
ones, you know.
clocked. I ain't even heard
She's
somebody
gonna
say.
clock you.
I ain't heard somebody say clock in a long time. Hold on one second. I'm gonna see if I can fix my camera. Hold on.
Yeah, you've been frozen for a minute.
Oh boy, I guess I can't fix my camera. But anyway,
Because it's after hours.
yeah.
Take 2 steps to the left and then slide to the right.
Amen.
All right, so
that?
y'all, I spent my entire Friday night with y'all, and I had a lot of fun. I love it when we do this, and I appreciate all of y'all. And I know Miss Chelsea does, and Miss Lillian
Yes.
does, and shouts out to Miss Wendy. Shouts out to Miss Simply 10. Shouts out to my big sister who's going to get me. She going to call. I'm going to get a call.
Mhm.
That's
Chelsea, we're always happy to have you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we always like I said, we always have fun and we appreciate everybody. Shouts out to Miss Doobie. It was
Yeah, she was
amazing
great.
having you on here. Who
Welcome,
else I'm
welcome.
trying to shouts out to my brother-in-law Tony.
Mhm.
Shouts out to Ed Nice. He was on here earlier
Mhm.
tonight. Who else? I'm just trying to make sure. Shouts out to Dougie, my brother
Mhm.
Dougie.
Tarita.
Oh yeah, shouts out to Mr. Rita. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to,
I got you.
everybody that was in the comment section.
B.A. Smith.
Oh yeah, shouts out to B.A. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? I know I'm missing. So y'all screen look different than mine, so y'all can
I'm
see.
looking through. I don't see. I honestly, I think that's
Did
it.
you get Tony?
Yeah, I got my brother-in-law Tony. Got
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And if I miss somebody, I'm sorry. But
I think that's
I think you covered
B.A. Smith.
Yep.
Said
Smith.
that.
Mhm.
Oh,
Good
okay.
job.
I think that's everybody.
and then
Shouts out.
yes. So we'll get back at it. We'll
Thank
get
Miss
back at it in a
Stevie.
couple days.
Great.
We'll get a crazy topic for y'all again.
One that don't give us a headache.
Yes.
I want to do a whole special on men.
Yeah, we can do
Since
that.
it feels like it's a lot about women.
Amen.
Here's the thing.
Men.
You know what? This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna let y'all come up with the topic on men. How about that?
Ladies, we need to
So-
come up with a good one.
So what y'all can do is leave in the comments.
And you don't think he's gonna come back around with a comment about a woman? Somebody crazy.
Oh, always. That's going to be all of his responses, but we going to try. Okay.
Amen.
Right. Amen.
So all I'm saying is that we're gonna let y'all come up with the comments and
All of
then-
his topics can be reversed back to men. He just be deflecting.
yes.
Master deflector. Master.
He is not gonna have it.
Rita.
So yeah, we're
And the
gonna
funny part is it could be 20 women in his one show. It's
Yep.
going
y'all was
Hey, you
banking
gonna go
me.
down swinging.
I got
you
jumped.
know,
I'm glad my
you can't
brother-in-law
get there.
and Dougie came in to help me out.
You don't need no help.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
right.
did.
None.
I needed help. So once again, shouts out to y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all so
Thank y'all
much.
so
And
You vicious emotional creatures aren't ready for that topic. Oh, game on.
Amen.
so
Game
make
on.
sure
Yep.
we will be back Friday again with the topic. And if y'all can leave in the comments what y'all want the man's topic to be. We are ready.
We know
I
it's
just
gonna
hope
be
my
about
guys show up and we'll
I'll be
ready for it.
missing next week. I'm back at work.
Oh,
Chelsea, what
okay.
they call it? Betas? Let's talk about it.
let's talk about it. Let's talk.
All right. Well, once again, y'all, we will see you guys again. And it was a lot of fun, whole bunch of fun all the time. And thank y'all for also popping up on the Brutally Honest Rap Show. And we got another show coming up. I just ain't had a chance to say it yet. But later,
That was
Dougie.
fun.
And
Good
thank
night,
y'all.
everybody. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Thank God for work next week. Oh my lord. This guy.
My big sister said, "You gonna get a call, sucker."
Your headphones about to be ringing.
I told y'all.
Okay.
All right, I'll see
All
y'all.
right, y'all.